Hello. Happy New
Hey.
Year's.
Oh shit. Sorry.
That's
Well, we
fine.
are talking to each other. So like when you say like hey, sometimes I'm not looking at the screen and I was like, hey man, what's up?
Hey. It's just very casually.
Yeah.
Uh Happy New Year's. Hello. Hello. Hello.
Happy New Year, brother.
We did it. We got into the new year.
It's true.
Mhm. Mhm.
Is it New Year, new me?
No, new year same me.
Alright,
I
cool, man. Me too.
yeah. Yeah. So, speaking of the new year, what did you do last year?
What do you
How
mean?
how was your week of last week that was technically last
Oh,
year?
I was like,
What
I I was like, it's a joke, but I just don't know like what you're going for.
where the
That's always funny.
punchline was? Okay.
Yeah. Oh fuck, man. Oh shit. I know I did stuff. See, this is why I gotta write this stuff down, man. Uh, well, I don't think it was. No, it wasn't last week, but I had my birthday, and my brother got me
Oh, when was
Final
your birthday?
Fantasy. Huh?
When was your birthday?
December 17th.
Oh, happy belated birthday. The
No
fuck?
worries.
The fuck? You should have let me know, and then we would have played all of the Back for Blood.
Oh yeah, we still need to do that. Honestly, man, it's
You know,
I don't want. You've played the beta. It's bad, but
okay. So
but I still
uh,
want to play it.
I know you do. So this is the hilarious thing is like I remember I was telling you I was like, man, I don't know which version I should go for, the base version, or if I should go for
Yeah.
the Ultimate Edition, and I just
Mm.
saw like a couple days ago that the Ultimate Edition went for like $10 on like I think Adorama.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and I was like, and I was thinking, I was like, ah, and then I thought about it, and I'm like, I'm probably not gonna play this game after I play with Haler. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna play it.
Um, what's it called? So I saw that message about you wanting to get the Ultra Edition.
Hmm.
And I know you like the other, you like to get like collective things, so like that would have been a full collection for you. And it would have been disc, so like perfect for you.
Hmm.
Um, and I think I woke up and saw that message the next day, and I was like, "Oh, please tell me he didn't buy it," because I was like, "I know I'm not gonna want to play this game, and I'll feel so bad if you get like a $30 edition." And I'm like,
Yeah.
"Nope, I don't want to do this."
No, because I think on Amazon it was like $20, and I was like,
I
no,
was like, "Yeah,
it was like 17 or $18. But like, I was thinking, I was like, do I want to pay the extra for the DLC and shit? And I'm looking on PlayStation Network, and I'm like, how much is DLC afterwards? And it was on sale, so it's like $17. So it's like almost around the same price as like just getting the disc and everything. But then I had to think critically, and I had to think, am I actually going to play this thing
yeah,
afterwards? And I was like, no, I'll just get the $6 base version. So
yeah." It's for what they were trying to do. I like it, but mechanically, it feels bad,
mm,
which is really sad to say because it's a PVE shooter. Like, it shouldn't be that
bad.
like it shouldn't be that hard to make. Like those things are fucking churned out every day, you know?
So what is it? What are your criticisms on it? Because I'm curious because I know we played the beta and I thought it was okay, but I wasn't like too
So
crazy in love with it.
one
But
of the
then
things is
mhm.
what's up?
No, because this is also another thing is that like I wasn't the in the beginning of when Left 4 Dead was in its hype, so I just don't
Mm.
know.
So you didn't play Left 4 Dead like really?
No, because like I didn't have an Xbox 360. Hold on, I got
So
to sneeze.
bless you.
Thank you. Got to mute.
Um,
Hmm.
I could be wrong because I played Left 4 Dead, but I don't remember how the game works. Well, I remember how it works, but like some of the nuances, like little things here and there that I might not remember correctly. But I'm gonna compare them to Back for Blood because I think I remember them correctly.
Hmm.
So one, the bad guy type, like they had witches, and I've only played a little bit of Back for Blood, so I don't even know if they have anything comparative to like witches and stuff.
Hmm.
But the witches used to scare me. The the way you played in Left 4 Dead was more dark. Uh, Buildings felt darker. This, that, the whole tone. um, and Back 4 Blood feels lighter and more like, honestly, cheaply made. I know it's not because the company has more money than they did for Dead, right?
Yeah.
Um, but like visually and stuff, even though the game is a PS4 game, it doesn't seem better to me than visually than Left 4 Dead. Again, like haven't played Left 4 Dead in a while, so like maybe that's just nostalgia. Uh,
Mm.
and just like the one thing I do know is gameplay. The feel of how you move and shoot does not feel better than Left 4 Dead. Left 4 Dead has that definitely down. Like obviously they're cemented games from back in the day,
Mm.
but Back 4 Blood just feels weird to me. Trying to think, and then I don't know. They're trying to give this one a story, which like maybe if I finish it, it's cool, but it feels kind of like generic. Um, but the biggest part I'm having trouble with is every time I move forward in the game, um, you have there's at some point always a lot of zombies at the level. There's just a point where there's always a lot. Um, and they expect you to shoot the head for all these things because that's a one-shot kill. Maybe not on some of them, but right, like that's the idea. Shoot a zombie in the head, it dies. And maybe there's people that can do that, but like it's a very hard thing to do. One, and then other thing would be um, as you're progressing, zombies come from behind you, um, which like isn't really a problem, but like the people I play with want to stand still for a while and like grab things. So like you can almost time it. Like okay, we've been here for like 30 seconds. Now uh a big guy is going to come from the back. And then like for sure, in 30 seconds you turn around, the big guy's coming. And it's just repetitive over and over again. Um so like it's basically like okay, you're standing still too long, we're gonna force you to move, you know? And I'm
Hmm.
like, I don't like that. Like, if you're gonna put in shit we gotta pick up, there needs to be some downtime to like look at shit and figure out if it's useful, if it's worth because you have to decide, am I buying this? Because you also have to use your points to buy certain things on the ground, all this other stuff. So like the pacing maybe it could be better, I guess. I don't know. Uh
Okay.
I don't know. Overall the game just feels bad.
Overall, not your favorite PvE game.
Yeah.
It's weird. Like I feel like with this studio, they haven't had a hit afterwards after Left 4 Dead because I know they tried to do Evolve, and Evolve I remember was pretty fun at the beginning, but it just never went anywhere. And I think what was it? I think it went free for a bit, and then the servers are just shut off. So
What's funny is it went free on PlayStation Plus after the servers were shut down.
yeah, that's oh my god, that's right. Yeah. Yeah, that's wild.
Yes.
Okay, I mean we'll play together, see if there's anything we can get out of it,
Well, the
or
truth is 1,000% is more fun with a friend.
okay, yeah.
So, that'll add some value, like playing together. And like I think we're both kind of like in the same mindset about it, like not too like serious and stuff, you know.
Yeah.
So it'll probably be fun.
Okay. Yeah, we'll check it out, I guess. Someday.
Yeah.
Someday. Anything else you do with your week? Your
Oh
past
shit,
couple
yeah.
weeks?
It's a little list. Fuck.
Yeah, we haven't pooed. I was looking at the last day, I think, in like three
So
3 weeks almost.
I'm just gonna rattle off a few things I got that like I was like pretty stoked about, I guess,
Oh,
because
okay.
like Christmas and like birthday, I got a couple things.
Hmm.
Uh, My one brother got me a Friends Lego set, which is do you know the show Friends?
Yes, I do know of the show Friends.
Have you watched it?
No, I know
Okay.
references. Like
Yeah, yeah.
I think the biggest one is was Rachel and shit, what is the guy's name? David Schwimmer.
Um uh oh my god, this hurts because I do
R-
like Friends. Ross.
Rach Oh, Rachel
Rachel
and
and
Ross.
Ross.
Yeah, were they on a break?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
We
that's like
were on a break.
yeah, that's like the
Yeah.
biggest one. Yeah, yeah. But that's basically
And
it.
the other one usually people know is Pivot. Pivot.
Okay. That I didn't know.
It's when they're trying to like take a couch up the Ross's apartment,
Hmm.
and Ross just keeps yelling "pivot" at them because like he wants them to like right maneuver it.
Hmm. Okay.
Um, so the Lego set is them at Central Perk, which is like the place that is in every single episode, so it makes sense for it to be the setting for the set, which is cool. I like it a lot. And then he got me Elden Ring.
What?
And yeah, I am so bad at it. And then Final Fantasy Crisis Core Reunion.
Oh God, really?
Yeah, and like
Ugh.
I don't know
Hmm.
how much I dig it. It's cool, for sure, and
It's
I
a go ahead.
like Final Fantasy, but I've never played any prequel stuff for Final Fantasy except for what Vincent's game.
Oh, that's a sequel. Dirge of
Oh, okay.
Cerberus. Yeah.
Urge Service was fun.
God, how? How do you consider that fun? I
Oh,
was
you didn't
losing my
like it?
I was losing my fucking mind. I was like but I beat it. I don't know how you found it
So when
fun.
it came out, it was fun.
I guess. I don't know.
Different time.
Yeah.
I don't like Zach's voice. I've never heard Zach speak.
I think it's a new voice actor. I think it's the new voice actor.
Okay, because he's like, "Oh my god," and I'm like, "Oh my god."
Angel. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Antil.
Yeah.
I want to be number one, and I was like, "Am I playing
I'm
Naruto?"
I'm the hero. Dude. So this is hilarious. Okay. You know who Maximilian dude is, right?
Yes.
Okay. So there's a whole joke with I guess his community cuz I kind of perceive it that way as well is that like Max does not like anime stuff. He kind of views some anime things as kind of cringy even though he does play
Mhm.
like anime fighting games. But the one thing that he will always come to the defense, not always come to the defense, but like something that he has support for is Final Fantasy 7 because that was his favorite game of all time. So when he talks about how much he loves Final Fantasy VII, but he cringes at like, anime shit, Final Fantasy VII is the most anime shit ever, and it's
Yeah.
obvious because it's the fuck is his name? The creator of Kingdom Hearts, Tetsuya Nomura. So Crisis Core is the dumbest shit ever. It is so fucking dumb, and it's a prequel to Final Fantasy VII where Final Fantasy VII, its story is goofy, but it doesn't go into that crazy fucking direction that um fucking Crisis Core goes into. Where how far are you into Crisis Core?
Mhm. Like I stepped into it.
Like you just stepped into it?
Mhm.
Okay, because either
I
way,
got like
like
an hour under my belt.
okay, so either way, your villain as well is super anime. Genesis. Um,
I didn't know he was an anime. Oh my god. Oh
yeah,
my god, didn't know the anime was How could you do this to
Ge-
me?
Genesis. And then you got the Sephiroth boy, but Final Fantasy is
I
stupid.
think he's gonna be like the main protagonist of the off.
S- Uh, yeah, he's gonna be all right.
I think he's the best boy.
He'll do nothing wrong ever.
He's a very good soldier, man.
Yeah, he's good at his job. Um, no, because like I think this was also the issue when people were in talks when people were just talking about like if Crisis Core would ever come out on like anything else or get a re-release. because of Genesis, because Genesis was based off the Japanese singer Gact. So that's why that game was such a
Didn't know that.
surprise. That's why that game was such a surprise when it actually came out. Because it's like, okay, what happened with the whole licenses with Gact? And I think they might have done some modifications on his face, but I don't know. And I think on top of that, Gact did a song for the Dirger Cerberus game.
Shit, cool.
I believe he did. He did like the one vocal theme for Vincent. I don't remember, but either way, back to the whole topic. Final Fantasy VII, its whole compilation, what they call like their stories and shit like that, is the dumbest anime shit ever, and it's by the guy who did Kingdom Hearts. So it's like it's obvious. It is stupid. And then you get Zach, who like Zach sounds like
I
I
hate
don't
it.
I kind of like Zach a little bit because he is obviously the player in that world, because everybody just talks weird shit and he's just like, what are you talking about? Like, what does this all mean? Like, he's trying to figure shit out, but he like nobody is answering him because they're all vague and anime men. So it's
Mm-hmm.
that's why I kind of like Zach a little bit. But yeah, I Final Fantasy 7 specifically, or possibly any other Final Fantasy, is incredibly stupid anime shit. But
Yeah. If you play, and it's either I really don't remember, man, but it's one of the Final Fantasies that's like 3 through 6, right? One of those um is like opera the way it's played through. It's almost like an opera,
I think it is 10 that you're thinking of.
but not 10. It's 1 through
Oh,
6, one of
oh
those.
yeah, oh
It's not
oh
1 and it's
oh.
not 2.
I thought you
It's
meant
like
like
3 through
opera, like
6.
opera was happening in the thing.
No, 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 no. Like the
Okay.
game, the way it's played out. So, like you called it like anime, and the thing that I feel is like super close to anime actually because it's so over dramatic is
Uh,
opera.
okay.
And
Oh,
like
I guess you can say that the original, like the first 6 Final Fantasies, were like more Star Wars, like early Star
yes,
Wars. Okay, yeah, yeah. And it's like like a fantasy
like
opera.
that's how they got like their start of this is like this grand fantasy that like pulled people in.
Some would say the
A Final
Final
Fantasy.
Fantasy.
Yeah, eat a dick. Um,
uh
um, what's it called? So yeah, those two games were pretty solid. Um, I told you off this that like my PS5 was overheating.
mhm.
So, um, one friend got me a soldering kit for my birthday. My brother got me an automatic screwdriver, which comes with like tons of bits for like
That's
small stuff.
that's good. That's good to have.
And then my brother, I have two brothers, so like when I say brother, I just like am interchanging each one.
Yeah.
Um, and then my brother,
Brother 1 got me something and brother 2 got me another thing.
yeah, other brother got me another soldering kit later on for Christmas. So like I got all this stuff to fix stuff, and my PS5 was overheating, so I took that apart, cleaned it out, put it back together. And now my computer's doing the same thing. So gonna be pulling that apart and cleaning it too.
Okay.
Um, what's it
So
called?
so what is going on with your PC? It just doesn't turn on, or it's just overheating?
No, so this will turn on now. Remember I told you the graphics card had a lot of dust on it. I
Mm.
cleaned that
Oh
out,
yeah,
put
yeah,
it
yeah.
back in. Which like it could have been the dust, or it could have just needed to be reseated. Like it's a really weird thing. Like if you turned your PC off improperly, there's a chance you might just need to like replug something in sometimes
Mhm.
to make it work. Which is like again, it just sounds weird, but it could be a thing. Um, and uh, like I said, I pulled the graphics card out. It was very dusty. Cleaned that, put it back in, and now it works. But because the heatsink for the CPU has so much dust on it, like I can send you a picture, but
Yeah,
um,
please. I am very curious.
I'll send it to you like when I go to do it tomorrow.
Mhm.
Um, this there's so much dust on it that there's no reason to use it right now where I could hurt it. where I could just clean it out tomorrow, and then like start using it again.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm trying to think. Other than that, things I did. What's it called? I played the games that I said I got. Final Fantasy,
Elden
Crisis
Ring.
Core. I like it so far.
Okay.
I already said I don't really like Zach, which is what it is.
I would say keep playing because like it is. I played this on the PSP, so it's like I kind of enjoyed it. The DM, what is it called? The DN,
DMZ.
is it DMZ?
Mhm.
Digital Media. Okay. Yeah, that shit is goofy. I think at the time the director for Crisis Core was like, yeah, I was really into like those dumb lotto machines, so
Yeah.
it's here. But I don't know. I really wanted to get the game. I'm probably gonna get it eventually, but as of the moment, I gotta not spend too much money because this winter Steam sale is really killing me. It's killing my wallet.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And what also killed my wallet was we just got heating oil, so that killed my wallet as well.
Yeah. I forgot
Yeah.
that's expensive.
Yeah, it's not great, but I gotta live.
It's true.
Yeah. Anything else you played or did or anything? Any blights besides that?
Elden Ring's hard.
It's a good game though. One of my goaties.
I don't know. I don't know if I'm gonna like it as much as everyone else did, but I'll have
I
to go through it and see.
Yeah, I'd say just take your time with it. You don't have to necessarily rush with anything because that was my experience. Even though I was streaming it, like I wanted to get to see everything as much as I could. But I knew that because of how big and expansive the game was, I was not going to see everything. Because I think we had a conversation as well of like that there's a trick floor that's like I never found, but some people found, or like a wall that like was in like the beginning area that I just never found, but that's how it is. But it's one of those games where I really recommend that you just go out, have fun, just experience the world. If you fight a boss, remember that you can always go back to it. You don't necessarily have to stick at that same boss. Just go out in the world and keep fighting.
I'm gonna try to treat it kind of Zelda-y
Yes,
and
I
just
think.
like
Mm,
enjoy what I'm doing, like you said.
yeah, yeah.
Um,
Bagodi. Continue.
the other game, my brother saw this on TikTok because like a bunch of TikTokers were playing it, and like it was like funny. They were like 4 players stuck to each other, which like this is just one part of the game. At some point, these little characters, in a game called Pico Park. Have you seen this before?
Oh, I haven't seen gameplay for it, but I've heard of it. Yeah.
So at one point in the game, because it's a multiplayer game, you guys are stuck together with a rope, and you have to like solve a puzzle by like let one person hang and the other two walk over a board. Um, and the person hanging gets the key, and then you can go open the door. It's all about getting a key inside the board, which is the board is basically a puzzle.
Mm.
And once one person gets the key, now you all have to figure out how to get to the door and open. And the door opens with the key, right?
Mm.
So that's the whole thing. The whole thing is key door. And both my 2 brothers, the game is for PC, but you can't get it on Mac. So my brother went to download it on his Mac, and he got really mad and was like,
It
"Oh, they
doesn't
let me
work.
buy this game for
But it
PC on a Mac." And like my other brother just looked at him and was like, "Because if you wanted to buy it and then go play it later on your PC,
Yeah.
you would have it."
I mean,
Like,
if yeah, I mean, I was about to say like if your brother doesn't want it, he could just return it.
right? Yeah, we
Yeah.
also told him that, which he did.
Okay, that's fair. As long as you got it.
It's just a funny thing like that. Like I don't think of because like if you're not a gamer,
Mhm.
you go on Steam and you don't look at like
What the supported
right.
yeah,
But like for me, or I would assume for you as well, like it's a direct look. Like the first thing I think of is does this work on my uh
computer. Yeah.
a computer or well, yeah,
No,
no console.
yeah, yeah. It's like not even that. I always also do can it run that
Yep.
website that like yeah I do that. So
So when like again like when you're like a avid gamer, I feel like you're like
when you're
looking at those things, and he
when
just
you're
didn't look, and I was like, wow.
a
But
gamer.
anyways, it is on Nintendo
Oh.
Switch,
Mm.
so that's what we all got it on. Um, Still just as enjoyable. The only thing that I would say sucks is their online service isn't good, so the ping was high.
Oy, okay.
We're also all in the same house, so like maybe pulling a little bit from the internet.
Uh-huh.
But it's a really simple game, so I couldn't see it being that hard to draw that much. Again, but I don't
Mm.
know enough about how a game draws
And
internet.
it's not local?
You could play local, but we all have switches, so like
Oh, okay, so you
we all
decided
just use
just
our own console.
gotcha. Okay.
Um, which to be fair, we could have just played on a big screen together. Um, but again, like it was just I think it's more like we thought there were gonna be more levels, so like we'd play later when they went home. But it became we beat the entire game in one night because there's like only 1, 2, 3, 4. Wait, 1, 2, 3. Is it 4? 4. So 8, 16. On. I have to multiply because I don't know that big of a number. I might be wrong about this number. 4. There's 64 levels altogether, like individual ones to play.
Okay.
Um, and it's not that hard. Like beat a level in like
A,
80 seconds.
essentially a baby can do it, is what you're telling me?
Um, this baby can.
Okay. Baby. Okay.
Uh, Enjoyable. Liked it. 10 out of 10 should play. And I played Pedestrian.
Oh, is it that platformer where you're like on
Yeah,
a sign?
pretty sure it's like one of the free to play games we got for PlayStation.
I think so. I don't remember.
um,
Mm.
I fucking love that game
That's
because it's a
good.
puzzle game.
Mm.
You have to figure out like how to get to the door. Like again, like Pico Park. Like I don't know why I love that type of shit, but I really do. Just love like solving shit.
Yeah, I mean puzzle platformers are pretty fun, especially if you can like figure it out.
Yeah. Well, it's
Um
like I enjoy the room too because like
Oh yeah,
those
that's
games
right.
are yeah.
Did you beat all of them or
I think I'm on 3,
okay, same. I'm on 3 as well.
and I really don't want to. Like I keep wanting to do it, but like I don't want to not have them to play.
Yeah, okay, that's fair. No, cuz like we're puzzle games like that, like The Room. I remember I tried The Witness. Did you ever play that? I think that was free on PSN for a bit.
I actually think Wesley bought it for me on
Oh.
computer,
Uh-huh.
and then PlayStation gave it to us for free.
And Wesley was like, "Damn it. My
No, I was
money."
just like in my head I was like I'm gonna play this on PlayStation
Mm,
because my PC runs so bad.
that's fair. Because I played that on PlayStation, and those puzzles get pretty damn hard. Like it is one of those games where it's just like,
It's so much fun though.
yeah, when you figure it out, it's like it's very rewarding. But like, I know I'm not good at puzzles. Like that's something
Oh,
I
oh my god. Oh my god. No, no, don't be so hard on yourself,
oh
man. You
okay.
are so good.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
Yo, I've watched you. I've watched you in Zelda puzzles that I've already completed, of course, so I know. And
Uh
I'm like, look at this guy. Look at this guy trying to climb this mountain when he needs to be underneath the mountain.
huh. I you know what's hilarious talking about like Zelda and shit like that. For some reason I just thought about this like out of nowhere was when I played Twilight Princess on stream and when I got to the Ganon fight at the end. Uh and I cheesed that boss fight. Do you remember I don't know if you
No.
watched it. Okay. I think Wade was there. Uh, Wade was just watching because like he loves Legend of Zelda, so like he was just watching me play it, and I really enjoy Twilight Princess. But there was a little thing that I did where I think I was fucking up with the fight with Ganon at the end, and I was like, huh, has anybody ever done this? And I just pull out the fishing rod. So when you pull out the fishing rod, you can like wiggle it around. But I didn't know this. The AI for Ganon, for some reason, gets distracted by it. So I was using that to my advantage, where I was just
Ganon is fish.
I was pulling it out and like I was waving it around, and Ganon kept looking up and just waving his head, and then I just whacked him every time he kept doing that, and that's how I beat the boss. And and Wade was like, "What the fuck? I've never seen that before." I was like, "Yeah, it's stupid. This game's dumb. I love it."
Fucking hilarious.
Yeah, Zelda.
Um,
Uh-huh. It's oh god, speak oh fuck. I'm thinking about the streaming shit, and I just remembered one of the things that I got. I wouldn't say furious, but I got to a point where I was just like, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing, and that was Fatal Frame on the PS2.
Fatal Frame's so ass, dude.
I streamed the first game because I was like, oh, it's a horror game I've never played, so I started playing it, and then I got to a puzzle where it involves I believe Chinese characters. And I was like, I don't know how to do this. And I'm trying to figure it out. And it just got to a point where like, fuck it. I just said like blatantly, I was like, fuck it. I'm just gonna look up a guide. Because there have been moments where I'm just like, fuck it, I can't figure this shit out. I'm just gonna look up a guide. And that's also part of my week, was one of the games that I played where I just had to look up a guide because I was like, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. Yeah, sorry. I kind of took over. Go ahead.
No, you're good, dude. Um, yeah, there's been so many times I've had to like, I haven't had to, but like, I just give up, and I'm like, nah, I don't like. This is not now worth my time anymore. I've tried so many things.
Yeah. I've spent my money
Um,
already.
The one thing that I always go back to where I'm like, I need to look how to do this shit again, is Legend of Zelda, N64, Ocarina of Time, the whale. Every time, no matter what, always have to do that, and the water dungeon when you're older.
Oh yeah.
Both of those, I don't know why water fucks me up so much, but somehow I'm always just like,
That
this
yeah.
place is like horrible.
Yeah, that level I remember distinctly, and I did not like it. Even though Ocarina of Time is one of my favorite Zelda games,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
don't like that water level. It's
yeah.
not the greatest. Uh-huh.
I will also die on this fucking hill, by the way. Skyward Sword is the best Zelda game ever fucking made.
I know. Did you get it on Switch?
No, I
Oh,
will though.
okay. There you go. I
My brother
fucking
was like, I don't know how this would work. It doesn't have the Wiimote, and I'm like,
it's a Switch.
Joy-Cons are
Yeah.
movable.
He's like, "What?"
I was like, you fucking piece of shit, dude. Anyways, so real quick, other two things that I played, well, didn't play. One of them I got, but the one I played. So we don't talk about phone games a lot, but there's this game called
Diablo
Micro
Immortal?
RPG.
Oh, okay.
Stop.
Okay.
Uh, nah, it's like this fun game I got. It's called Tinder. Nah.
Oh, that's the true phone game. So,
So I got this
micro RPG?
Micro RPG. It's a so I guess you would call it turn-based RPG, but like I don't know. So let me just explain how it works. So you're a character in the middle of the screen, and the bad guys every turn they get move closer to you, and you have to let this spinning wheel of a close weapon, a ranged weapon, or a medium weapon decide who you're gonna hit, and each target that you hit adds a multiplier to the next target you hit. So like, but only like if it lands on multiple people in the go. So if I hit 5 creatures in one go, it's 10 damage, then 20 damage, then 30, then 60, then 90. So it like multiplies up depending on how many you hit. Which like that's just useful because like if you're trying to kill a big one, like you want to get a couple people with him because it'll kill the little ones, then multiply for the big guy.
Okay.
So it's just like a spinning circle around you, for your weapon. So like close one's a sword, medium one is a hammer. You'll jump and use the hammer,
Mhm.
and then the ranged one's a bow or shurikens. And I don't know, like overall, like
Fun
for a
time.
phone game, this is the type of shit I personally want.
Mhm.
It's an easy to do thing. Uh,
Any microtransactions?
of course, but it's not heavily like
It's not Diablo
embedded in
Immortal.
it.
Okay.
Yeah, well, Diablo Immortal's a different like beast than
Beast.
that,
Yeah.
because like that's like a game that should be a full game. Anyways,
Mhm.
so that game I really like, and then I have gotten the super duper ultimate edition of Diablo 4 pre-ordered.
The one with the candles?
Oh, okay, not the physical one,
Oh, I
the
was,
digital one.
I was like, oh, so you must really, really like candles.
Um, I sadly have the physical super duper edition of Diablo 3 in my house somewhere, and I'll
Oh
only
yeah,
keep
that's
it
right.
because it was a lot of money.
Yeah, I mean, shouldn't really throw that out. It did cost you a good amount of money, so
Diablo 3 is terrible. Anyways, so that's the last thing I did. Or yeah, um,
okay. Any movies or anything you watched, or
there are, just can't remember.
okay, it'll come to you eventually.
Maybe we'll find out.
Okay, this is why I write down my shit.
I I can't remember if I said it to you on here or off here, but I said that I was like, yeah, I always, and like I say it to myself like halfway through the week. I'm like, I'll write it down, and I
Oh,
never do.
I mean, it's okay. It's all right. Anything else or nah?
No, that's it.
Okay. Well, you had
Just
a
my TED talk.
so you had a technological blight. I had a plumbing blight. So bro, it's fucking oh my god. All right. So I was preparing for New Year's because we were having it at my house. So I was like, "Oh, you know what? Obviously, I'm going to clean my bathroom, but I'm just going to clean it as extensively as I can because I realized there was like some corners of my bathroom that I just never reached because either I'm too fucking lazy or it's just like just never did or never thought about it. So I was like, all right, let me thoroughly clean my bathroom. So uh I was cleaning my what is it? I was cleaning my sink and then I had to take off the where the faucet is, where the water shoots out from the spout. I took off that little thing. It's called an aerator. So when
Okay.
I was taking it out, it has like a little piece on top of it that just fell out and went directly into the drain. So I was like, fuck. So I was like, all right, let me get a wrench and let me just take this thing out. So I got the wrench, I was taking it out, and I accidentally hit the pipe. And I didn't realize that the pipe was so corroded that when I hit it, it just broke as easily as it could. And I was like,
Oh my god.
fuck. So I had to mention to my mom's boyfriend. I was like, hey, because he's very good at like handiwork. Um, so I was like, hey, like I kind of need help with this whole situation. He's like, all right, so you're gonna have to make your trip to Home Depot, get this specific pipe, get that, and I'll get you a drain because he was going out with my mom to go shopping, and he was like, I would stop by Home Depot and get you a new drain. So I was like, okay. So I did that. Okay, cool. We got the sink fixed. Awesome. So I have this electric duster that I use, and I was blowing air in the bathroom to get like all like the dust and the hairs like out of the corners and shit like that. So I went past my toilet, and I think that thing is strong, and I think it was so strong that like where the toilet sits on like on what is it, grout? It was sitting on grout. The grout just it just broke a piece off and water started leaking from underneath the toilet. So I was like, fuck.
Jesus.
I was like, fuck, I gotta fix this other thing. So I mentioned it to my mom's boyfriend, and he's like, I don't know what you might need for that. It's like, I think you might have to call the guy who did your bathroom. So I was like, nah, I feel like that's going a little extreme. So I was like, let me look online to see what this shit is. So I didn't know that essentially your toilet sits on a wax ring.
Mhm.
I didn't know about this. So basically, the only reason why it would leak underneath the bowl is because the wax ring is already like it's already done. Like you gotta change that shit.
Yeah.
Uh, so I was like, all right. So I'm thinking because I'm like, when was the last time this thing was changed? And I'm like, I don't think it was changed at all. I think it's been there since like the bathroom was made, or was redone. So I'm thinking, I'm like, how long was that? And I think it was like 2013. So I was like, yeah, like we're almost at.
The wax ring, though, I don't think usually
So
is too bad.
but this is the other thing is that like if you rock on the toilet like back and forth or like any other motion, like if it's an extreme shit, can can move the wax ring and like can cause like a crack in it. So, but if
Do
it,
people rock on the toilet?
I guess, I'm not really a rocker to be honest. Um, but like I said, to be fair, I'm trying to remember when the bathroom was redone because like it's one of those things you're gonna have to change like after like it's been a decade essentially. So that thing gotta go. So this is how crazy how much water damage it was under. Like if I didn't take out the grout with the duster, I wouldn't have realized how much water damage it made because when I took off the toilet, the grout just fell apart. Like it had so much water damage that it just fell apart. So I was like, all right. So I got the new wax ring. I put the thing on top. I put the toilet back on the wax ring, a new one, I should say, a new wax ring. Put everything back together. Put some caulk around the outside of like where the bowl was sitting, and just there. And I'm all right. Good. So my bathroom is completely fine. And it took a total of like 2 to 3 days almost to like get all that shit in check. But also the nice thing was I also thought to myself, I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm gonna get a bidet. So I installed the bidet. I
Yo.
installed a bidet in my toilet, and it's a game changer.
Yo.
It's a game
Let's
changer.
talk about it, kid. I fucking love it. We have one too.
It's a game changer, man. So the only unfortunate thing was that like my toilet seat, is lipped at like the bottom, so I had to get risers to go on the toilet seat for it to kind of sit well enough. Because I
Yeah, I
didn't.
don't like the spacing.
So you have to get a specific toilet seat in order for it to work out. Because usually ones that have that kind of curve down when you're sitting on it
Mhm.
are usually ones that don't work well with bidets. You have to get one that is completely flat.
Yeah, we got one of those.
So let alone I found out that the company that makes the bidet also has a specialized toilet seat. I hit my microphone. Has a specialized toilet seat. But that toilet seat, you know how much that toilet seat is?
No.
That toilet seat is fucking $56.
It's not bad. This was a bidet.
The bidet was 55. So, but I'm
It's
like,
like $100 altogether.
but I'm like for a toilet seat, and like Amazon
How much
gives
would you usually pay for a toilet seat?
like 25 or 30 bucks.
If I'm sitting on it, it's gonna be like.
I know, and I thought about this.
Yeah.
I was like, but you know what? I think for the meantime, I'm just gonna get the risers, and once those things don't pan out, I'll probably get the toilet seat because like Amazon does give you the option to like pay $17 for like 3 months, but I'm like, I'm not gonna do that right now. Like,
You know what question I have? Have you or any of your family ever had the padded toilet seat? Do you remember those? Or have you ever
yes,
sat on one of those?
yes, I think in my cousin's old house they had it, and I think they removed
Dude,
it.
who buys one of those?
I don't know. I think just sickos. I think that's who
I've
buy it.
never I've never had a padded toilet seat, bro.
It's
And
weird.
like, I went to a friend's house and I sat down on one, and I was like,
It's just weird because it's like it feels like you're sitting in a regular chair, but just taking a shit
right,
in in the hole.
right, right. And I was just like, are these the type of people that have like poop stains in their pants because they're just sitting on
Mm,
like a chair and they're like, oh, I gotta poop, and then they just poop.
mm, I don't know.
Anyways,
Yeah,
that was probably a little too much, but
no, 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 it's fine because like I'm thinking about it. I'm like, yeah, I just don't know why people would buy toilets like that unless I guess for elderly people if like their ass hurts that much when they're sitting.
I guess so. Like in a comfort standpoint, like when I have sat on them, they are a little more comfortable. But like I don't know, it just feels like something you're not supposed to be sitting on when pooping. Like that's how I feel when I sit down on one of those things.
Yeah, no, I get you. I get you. So yeah, bidets are pretty good. Bidets are pretty good.
Yes.
So this is a hilarious thing. So I bought a bidet, and I remember when I finished my bathroom and all that shit, I explained to my mom and her boyfriend. I was like, "Oh, I bought a bidet." They've never heard what a bidet is, and I had to explain it to them. But my how I explain things is kind of vulgar, so I was like, "Oh, it's a thing that washes your ass every time you take a shit." And they started laughing because they're like, "Oh, that sounds absurd." Like,
Yeah.
yeah. So I explained to them like, no, it's supposed to help when you after you're done taking a shit, that you use it to wash the area because what you're doing with toilet paper is that you're just smearing it. So it's better to have the bidet, use it, use a little bit of toilet paper. It's saving more toilet paper for you because you don't have to fucking keep using more and more pieces.
Right.
So you just all you have to do is just take the water off. If you have a little bit left over, just clean yourself. But it's not going to be as excessive as it would be if you took a regular shit with just toilet paper. So they just didn't get it. They just think it's weird. So my family was over today, and we had leftovers from New Year's Eve. So my mom just brings it up to my aunt, and she's like, "Oh, he bought this weird thing, and this and that." And my cousins overhear it, and their mom never heard of bidet either. They're like, "What? But what?" And my cousins overhear them talking about it, and they're like, "A bidet? Oh yeah, like yeah, those things are really cool." They were just like, "What?" Like that doesn't make any sense to them, but I was explaining to my cousins. I was like, "Yeah, I just bought a bidet because fuck it, I'm just gonna buy a bidet."
It's
Uh,
literally like one of the best like things ever you could
it's one of the best. Yeah, it's one of the best things you can get. But like I was saying, is that
have.
like when you my specific toilet seat has that little curve. So the one thing I was worried about was like either breaking the bidet or the not being or the thing not being able to be fully utilized because that curved thing at the bottom of the toilet seat uh kind of like stops the pressure of the spout a little bit, so it's not shooting as much as it could. So that's why I'm like thinking of like if I should get the new toilet seat or you know get the risers. But I got the risers, and like so far the risers are working pretty well. Like they're still sticking.
Yeah.
um but maybe you know if I have a good amount to expunge, I'll probably get that 50 something dollar fucking toilet seat. Uh um so yeah, that was my fucking plight of plumbing. And it was hilarious too because talking about like movies and shit. Literally the fucking water was just everywhere in my bathroom, and I was just like so pissed because it was late at night and I'm trying to clean this fucking bathroom, and like god damn it, like I just want to get this done. My mom was like, why don't you take a break, we're planning on going to the movies. So she's like, do you want to come with us? So I was like, okay, fine, yeah, I'll like to take a break. I'm like, what do you guys want to go see? She's like, let's go see Avatar the Way of Water.
That's cool.
I was like, okay, I guess with my water situation, I'll go see a movie about more water. But yeah, I guess that's also part of my couple of weeks of not being on here is that I saw a couple movies. Obviously the biggest one being Avatar. Um, I'm not gonna
You like
give,
that?
I'm not gonna say any spoilers. I did enjoy it. I'm not a huge fan of Avatar because of the fact that like it's been almost what a decade as well of how long that first movie came out. So it's like I barely remembered what happened in the first one. All I know is that they beat the bad guys. Um, so watching the sequel, it's like it's like years later after the first movie. And then it also has like an additional time skip as well to another year. So it's been like years, like I'm saying. Um, it's enjoyable. It's an enjoyable movie. I wouldn't say it's like the must see movie of the decade or the year or whatever the
You
fuck.
heard it here. Must see movie of the decade.
No, the must see movie of the decade that you should see that got good ratings on Rotten Tomato is Puss in Boots: The Last Wish.
Oh my god. Yeah, I saw that. Did you
it,
send that in the
it beat Avatar.
Discord?
No, I think it was Oh No.
Oh,
It's
okay,
like it beat Avatar, and I was like, holy shit.
yeah.
Uh, it's like, to be fair to Puss in Boots, like it is the animators that did this the Spider-Verse movie, so it's like it's got good animation.
Honestly, man, with Avatar: The Last Airbender, oh my god.
Wrong one.
With Avatar, Way of the Water,
Mhm.
it's how many years? 10 or more?
The first movie came out 2013, so it's been almost 10 years.
Okay. To make a sequel so far away, people forget, dude.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Is that
So
like I didn't remember what the fuck happened.
that's right. That's their fault that Puss in Boots beat them.
Yeah, because it's like whoever's gonna see it is probably not gonna have a fucking rewatch of Avatar 1. They're just gonna go see it. They're just gonna go see the sequel.
I also don't think movies have had a strong comeback since COVID.
I mean, when we went to the theaters, there were a lot of people. That theater was packed. But yeah, I guess as well.
I don't know. I don't really personally hear a lot of people saying they want to go to it.
Mhm.
As far as like friends group, I'm trying to think. I don't know. Just feel like it never really like bounced back. Maybe it did. I don't really pay attention also to like
Movies.
movie news.
Mm,
So I
okay.
don't know.
Yeah, it's fair. Yeah, but I think overall, I think the reason why I enjoyed it is like I said, I'm not gonna get too spoilery with it, but it expands the world of that planet. Like it shows off that like there's different areas that you can explore in this world. So I guess the one little minor thing is that like they established that there is a tribe of the blue cat people that are more
More
aquatic.
blue and cat.
They're more aquatic. Essentially, like they're the alien Polynesians.
Okay.
Yeah, because like they all do face tattoos. They all do like
Yeah.
hakas. So it's like, yeah, you're essentially introducing us to space Polynesians, and it's like, okay, I'm cool with it. I'm fine. It is a long movie, but like, it's enjoyable. Like I said, it is enjoyable. Um, yeah. If you have the chance to watch it, I recommend watching it. I think we went to go see it in IMAX, so
Oh, nice. That
pretty.
sounds like a way better experience.
Yeah, the audio was really good. So, and we saw it in like one of those really fancy movie theaters where it's like they have the fucking like automated reclining chair shit. So,
Oh no.
it was
The Schnozberry says like
it's a really nice movie theater. They also have like a snack bar that's like essentially you can get like a fucking full meal there. But
Oh, dude. Yeah, they used to have that when I was way younger,
Mhm.
when I didn't live in Jersey. Um, Same thing. Like you could get like dinner to your theater.
Yeah, not like one of
It's
those
cool.
Alamo Draft House things. It's just a regular movie theater, but like the snack bar is like fucking hot dogs. You can have like a mini pizza. It's like it's fucking bizarre.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
Yeah, but like it's one of those junk food kind of ordeals. Which we got junk food. Like my mom got like nachos and hot dogs because like we didn't eat dinner.
Hey, man,
So,
fuck it.
yeah, we were just like, all right, fuck it. But still very enjoyable movie. So yeah, that was one of the movies I saw. Much enjoy. So I saw a couple things on the streaming services. I saw a Korean movie called Memoir of a Murderer, not Memories of Murder. this is a different movie. I enjoyed this movie. It's on Amazon. Essentially the premise is this old man is starting to develop he's starting to develop dementia, and he's starting to
Mm.
forget like a lot of things, and he's like in his early 50s. Um so there's a secret about him that he is a serial killer, but he only kills the bad people, okay? According to him. So what's going on in the story is that a different serial killer has sprung up in his small town, and he's trying to figure out if whether or not he has a daughter. His daughter is like in her 20s. He's trying to figure out whether or not his daughter's new boyfriend is that serial killer. And essentially it's a movie of just this guy trying to figure out all this shit while forgetting shit as well. And the movie does a really interesting thing as well, where it's like it's the unreliable narrator, where the movie kind of like plays with your thoughts as well. Is that like, is this guy telling the truth, or did he just forget? But the ending for that movie I didn't really like as much. It kind of leaves in a really weird ending where it's not necessarily cliffhangery. It's
Mhm.
just I don't know how about I feel about the choice, but the overall the overall watching experience of the movie is still pretty enjoyable. So yeah, Memoir of a Murderer. um what else did I watch? What else did I watch? I watched I watched the Knives Out sequel, Glass Onion. It's on Netflix.
I haven't watched it yet.
It's enjoyable. It's not as good for me personally. It's not as good as Knives Out, but it's still enjoyable.
Okay.
I'm gonna leave it as that. I finally saw Bullet Train.
I need
Uh,
to watch that too.
it's also a really fun ride.
Where'd you watch it?
Netflix as well. I finally saw Dune, the new one.
Oh, mm,
Did
nope.
you haven't seen
I was
Dune?
thinking Dune.
Dune, yeah.
That's what you said, not Doom.
No, not Doom. Dune, with the
Dune.
with the Timothy Chalamet.
Oh yeah, dude.
Yeah,
Shit's like pretty great, right?
it's a good movie. It's a very good movie. I
Yeah.
mean,
It's very beautiful.
yeah, it's interesting. I thought it was gonna be it's obviously the first part building up to like the rest of the shit that goes on in Dune, but I know not really that much of the world, so I'm very curious to see where it goes.
Oh, I know nothing. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm just very curious to see like what that world has in store. And it is enjoyable. The names is like still one of the goofiest things of like our main character people have like the most basic white people name. Uh
It's hilarious.
yeah, fucking Paul, Dunk Duncan, Idaho. Uh I think that's one of the worst ones.
I
Uh
love it.
yeah, but I'm like I said, I'm very I think because of this movie I'm very interested in this world of Dune.
Yeah,
Um
I'm excited for the second one just from watching that because like what I saw people talking about, what they're gonna bring in looks like it's gonna be very interesting.
yeah, yeah, I'm so very curious. Can you give me 1 second? I gotta use the bathroom.
Of course.
All right, be right back. All right, we're back.
Hi.
Gotta go use the bathroom. Gotta go fast.
No, don't do it.
All right.
It's a trap.
It's a good thing I got this bottle next to me that I can use. Uh, so yeah, Bullet Train, Glass Onion, Dune. Yeah, Dune was a good time. Got that Zendaya in there. And the last thing that I watched before the end of 2022 was the movie Pig with Nicolas Cage.
Oh, dude.
You
Don't
what?
say anything about that because I do want to watch that.
Okay, okay. If you watch it, we gotta talk about it, cause
Of course, I'll watch it this week.
okay, all right. So yeah, Pig. So those are the movies that I watched before the end of this year or last
And
year.
that's on
Excuse me.
Netflix.
Pig or Dune or
Pick.
Pig? No, I watched it through other means.
Okay, I think it's on Hulu, so I'm not too worried.
Okay, so if you can watch it, that's
I've
good.
seen it on one of the streaming services, and if it's not, like, I think it's like $3 to rent, so I'm not worried.
Okay, yeah, it's a good movie. It's a very good movie. Nicolas Cage is very good in that movie. I still got to see.
I love Nick Cage, bro.
I
It
still got
doesn't
to.
matter what he's in.
I still have to see the what is it? The unbearable massive weight of talent. I think it's called. The one where he's with
Oh yeah, 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 yeah. Yep.
yeah. I still gotta watch that.
Same. I would really like to watch it as well.
I'm trying to think what else. Yeah, so that's basically everything that I watched before the end of 2022. And then as for video games, bro, I played too many video games. So
Anything like stand out?
I think the biggest one. Okay, so I played 4 games. And I beat all 4.
Oh,
Uh,
nice.
I have beaten this game called The Forgotten City. I don't know if you ever heard of this game.
Is it new? Sounds like indie.
It is indie. So okay, so let me explain the little bit of the background of this game. It's very weird. It used to be it's developed by a team that did a what was it? Was it I think it was a New Vegas mod. So but they did their own story for this. So basically the premise is you're some guy who's been transported into this like weird city in like this cavern that's in Rome. Okay, so you have to talk with people who are people from Rome, but they all have different backgrounds, and essentially you have to figure out what is causing this curse that's happening. The curse is essentially if anybody does a crime, these golden statues will awaken and start turning people into golden statues.
Jesus Christ.
So this is where I was very interested in this. It is kind of like Majora's Mask, where
Oh.
so you essentially have a couple amount of minutes in order to like get some key clues down in order for you to progress and figure out what exactly is going on. And then the really really neat part is that once you hit a loop, you can interact with characters that you've already interacted with that let's say they have their own little specific problem. You can interact with them and say, hey, this is the key to solving your problem, go do this. And the point and what's crazy is that like the game gets to a point in its story where it's just like you just tell this one dude, the first guy you interact with, hey, I need you to go take care of this and this, do it now. And he's like okay, and then he just goes off. Forget his name. I think his name is Galerius. One of the best characters in that fucking
Timothy Chalamet, Galerius. Gotcha.
Timothy Chalamet. It is a very very good single player experience. Like if you really want something that I would say that you're just something like you're interested in like story shit, it's very good. It's very
Okay.
fun figuring out like certain puzzles or like also figuring out like a lot of these people's backgrounds because like not all of them are from Rome.
But when in Rome.
But essentially yeah, or like there's a little thing that people talk about like they just woke up in this cave and they don't know how they got there, but they've been living there since.
Oh,
It is
okay.
it is very very good. There's like 4 endings. I got 2 of them. The rest of them you can get like I got the good ending essentially. And I was
Okay.
like, okay, I'm happy with this. And then I saw the other endings and I'm like, okay, yeah, they're all right. There's not anything so crazy. But overall, if you have an itch for like Majora's Masks like kind of game with a loop,
No.
okay,
Never.
this is like one of these games where it's like it's very good. The writing is also very good as well. And
Yeah.
that's also another thing. They actually won a BAFTA.
A Zach Brafta.
Yeah, they won a Zach Braff doing the Turk. What is it?
Da-na-na-na-na-na.
uh, yeah, I don't know. A BAFTA is like a writing award in
Yeah,
the
yeah.
Britons. So yeah, they won a BAFTA. But it's crazy to
That's
think that
awesome.
like, yeah, essentially this game came from a mod that they did. Either it is Fallout or it is Skyrim. It's one of those Bethesda RPGs. Um, but yeah, and then somebody was just like, you should make your own game or like take the premise of this and like run with it. And that's what they did. They ran with it. And it's funny because like the game has its little like those little moments where it's like, oh, this is what it was originally of like, you know how like Bethesda RPGs when you like go to talk to somebody, like they just zoom in on the person's face and then gives you like the dialogue options. You know what I'm
Jesus,
talking about,
yes.
right?
Yes.
That is what is in that game every time when you
I hate
interact with
it.
somebody. It's goofy, but I like I said, I still enjoyed the writing of the game. Galerius, I think, is one of the best characters. You're always cheering for him. He's the first guy that you meet in that city where he's just a cool dude. One of the nicest guys to be there. A true bro, I could say. There was one sequence in that game where I got really annoying, and it's just for like a little side mission to help Galerius with. Um, but I won't get too far into it. But anyways, big recommendation that one. Um, I finally played Oddworld New and Tasty.
Yeah, I remember you talking about this.
Okay, how can I explain my experience of Oddworld on my PC? Remind you, my PC currently is, I don't want to like, stroke it too hard, but my
He's like, but
but as you see my hand going that way. Uh, so this game is not well optimized on PC. It
really?
yeah, it is bizarre.
Okay.
They're okay, so I was running it like uncapped and it was like going into like the fucking like 300s, and I was like, this feels wrong, but like it was running fine. But then there would be moments in the game where it just goes straight down to the 20s. And it's like there's nothing graphically intensive happening. And I'm like, I'm running on a fucking 3090. And I'm like, what is happening? Don't know. It's not well optimized. But then I hit a a wall essentially towards the end of the game where it essentially the last sequence of the game is a timed section where you have to do some platforming which requires you to roll past these meat grinders that for me were going way too fast. And I was thinking, I'm like, is it because of the frame rate? Like, I think I'm gonna have to cap it. So I capped it. And that shit was still difficult, but I still
Oh
got
wow.
through it. I got through it because that was the issue, was that like the things were going too fast. So my reaction time wasn't, I couldn't do anything. And it, like I said, it got to a point of just frustration where I was like, I don't know if I can beat this. Um, and it's a puzzle platformer. Uh, Oddworld New and Tasty.
Yeah.
It's fun. I give it that. It is fun, and it's some sequences. And some levels it becomes kind of, I'm trying to think of like the nicest word. It feels like bullshit sometimes. Okay, I'm gonna be honest. Like there are some levels where it's just like, how the fuck did I die to this? I think one of the most
Yeah.
annoying things of the game is that like there are like certain little things that like just cause a hindrance or actually causes you damage. And the biggest thing that gave me the biggest annoyance was bats. Because there are a couple levels where like these bats follow you and you can't necessarily get out of the way. Um and they hurt you. So there'll be moments where like I get past this one platforming section and I'm like down to like my last point of health, and then a fucking bat comes out of nowhere and kills me, and then I have to
Okay.
restart from the checkpoint, and it just like it got me to some feeling of almost disdain for the game. And Yeah, it was wild, but just that last
I
sequence.
can't wait to go kill a group of fucking bats.
I'm gonna choke a bat. But I
Yeah, tell Bat next time you see him.
I'm trying to think, like, yeah, that last sequence was kind of rough, like I said, to get past these meat grinders because they were going like really fast, and me trying to figure out a pattern because either I would roll, but I rolled too far and I get killed, and then I rolled, but I didn't roll far enough, so the previous grinder kills me, and it's just one of these situations where it's just like I found it really really frustrating. But thankfully on PC you have the quick save, so I was just quick saving a lot. The only annoyance was that like the game has the ability for you to use a controller. The only issue is that like the game doesn't read the controller. It's very bizarre. Like you can play the game with a 360 controller, but the inputs don't show in game that you're using a 360 controller.
Okay, it doesn't. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
so they're
No
really
visual.
yeah. Because there were moments where I was like, okay, what does this button do? I don't know which button's what.
Do
Uh,
other games normally do that?
no,
Do they auto switch usually or no?
they usually auto switch. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's my question. All right.
Yeah, I mean this game's on PlayStation, but you know I've had it on PC for. I pretty much have like all the Oddworld games on PC. The only one I didn't get on PC was the newest one, Soulstorm, which that was free on PS5. So I'm gonna probably play Soulstorm
Okay,
eventually.
so I did play. Yeah, I was playing one of them the other day
Um,
because we got something free at some point.
yeah, uh, it is a fun platformer. Like I said, it's a fun little puzzle platformer. It is how long did it take me? I want to say it took me like 7 or 8 hours. Um, but the thing that I didn't know, and I think I'm probably not gonna go for it because I was so annoyed by that last level, was that the game has two endings. And it's dependent on whether or not you save I think in that world they call them Mudokons, which your main character, that's what he is, he's a Mudokan. And you have like the little thing about the there's a little thing in the game where like if you save, I think it's more than 150 Mudokons, you get the good ending. But I didn't save 150. I only saved like maybe 98. So I got the bad ending. Um and yeah, I just got
You
the
hate
bad
Dawkins, I can't believe it.
I just got the bad ending, and I was like, yeah, I'm done. I'm just gonna look up the good ending on YouTube because I was
Yeah.
yeah, because like that's how frustrated I got from that last level. Even though I accomplished it and I actually got it, I was just like, I'm just mentally done. Like I'm mentally exhausted. Like fun time, but still one of those moments where I was just like, I was almost like beating my head against the wall of like, I cannot fucking get this. And then I got it, and I'm like, and I got the bad ending. I was like, I don't think it was worth it. So,
I get it. I've had games before where I didn't enjoy them and just looked up shit.
yeah. Um. So yeah, that was Oddworld, new and tasty. And what else did I play? Oh yeah, I haven't streamed any video games because I don't know what to stream currently. So I've been taking a break from the streams.
You should
Uh
hold off until the Wolverine comes out.
oh man, till end of 2023.
Don't say that. Please be sooner. Please.
End of 2023, the Wolverine.
Oh my god. You know I'm gonna play it and I'm gonna love it.
Yeah, I
Even
know.
if it's bad.
Yeah, I know. I know you are.
It's not true. If it's there's three things that'll happen if it's bad. If
Mm.
it's bad acting / bad voice acting, I'll be upset. And if it's just not like well written, I'm gonna be upset. So
Who voices Wolverine in the new game? It's gonna be the guy who voices Zack.
no. Hey guys, I'm Wolverine. Okay, well
Get
I'm
out of
gonna
here,
return this.
bub. It's like, all
Get
right.
out- yeah, well, I'd be so fucking unhappy.
You'd be like, I hate everything Marvel. Um, yeah, I just haven't figured out what exactly I'm gonna stream. I mean that's also part of my week is that like I kind of went a little nuts on the fucking Steam winter sale. Um, but I forget what I bought. One game I bought that I just want to mention. But anyways, the last thing I played on stream was Bendy and the Dark Revival.
Oh yeah. That was fun to watch.
I was thinking about this, and I thought about this very hard. I was trying to think of anything that came out in 2022 that I played that came out in 2022 that I would consider to be a bit of a disappointment. This game was a bit of a disappointment, and it's unfortunate. I'm trying to think, where do I start? So this game is a sequel, obviously, to the first Bendy and the Ink Machine. And that game I really liked. It wasn't polished, it was a little janky, but it was still fun. And in this one, visually, this game looks phenomenal. It looks really, really nice. But I'm realizing that this game was borrowing a lot of elements from BioShock. That's why I joked about in the Discord talking about how, I'm going to be playing Ink Shock, because that's what it felt like. It felt like a BioShock like game. But I didn't realize how short it was. 'Cause it was only like 5 chapters. And the game really wants you to, I guess, somewhat explore, but the game doesn't really give you the opportunity to figure out on how to transport back to certain locations in order for you to explore more. So, I'm playing the game and I realized that, like, I didn't get all the health upgrades. I didn't get all the upgrades for I don't know if I got all the upgrades for my pipe, but it felt like there was a lot missing, and the reason why I felt like this was such a disappointment was because I really like this world of Bendy. Like, I really like the weirdness of it, where it's like this weird demon that just appeared is trying to break into reality. And then the game story goes into like a crazy like description of like, we're not technically in our world, we're technically in a different universe where like ink creations like exists, because this is the things that we created. And it's like this weird heady kind of thing, and I'm like, okay, I'm down with it, I can go with it. But the game it felt like it was too short, and I'm like, I wanted more. And
Yeah.
and the game just ends where it kind of does this ending where your main character Audrey, she's like, oh, like, there's a whole spoiler thing that I'm not going to say right here, but like, she just talks about how like something could happen later on, and I'm curious whether or not they're going to do another game. But my hope is, if they were to do another one, make it a little longer, because I'm trying to remember how long it took me to beat this game. I want to say it was like 6 hours. And yeah, I don't know, man. Like, that was just a bit of a disappointment, where I wanted more from this game, and
Isn't
it
it indie, or is it
it is
a
indie.
well-known company?
It is indie.
Okay.
So, but that's the
I
thing,
was
is
gonna
that,
say, like, 6 hours isn't too bad for an indie game.
but this is the problem, is that like this game was in development I think after a year or two after the first game came out. So like, if they needed more time, that would have been fine. But like I'm saying is like, they introduced a lot of lore shit that was really interesting, and then the game just ends. You do get a final boss, but the final boss felt like not that interesting.
Okay.
Um yeah, like I said, I think overall what I can say is that like, there are some neat concepts, obviously them using a lot of like
Did you
gameplay,
feel like the first one was more compelling?
a bit, obviously, because it is the first one, and like, I just wanted to know the mystery behind it. And the sequel actually explains why the first game ends the way it does. And it's
Okay.
interesting, and I'm like, oh, that's really, really cool. But then this ends. And the game doesn't do anything to subvert my expectations as well, because you literally have a character at the beginning of the game. His name is Wilson, and he's this old guy who's just really creepy old man Wilson. And I thought they were going to subvert your expectations, but I expected too much, because Wilson's just creepy old man. That's it.
Oh
And
shit.
yeah, and then like the rest of the game, he's just creepy old man. And like I don't know whether or not they explain his reasoning for this. They explain a little bit as to why he's trying to do all this. But there you don't really get anything from Wilson being he has some moments of not being creepy, but overall his intentions are still
Creepy.
somewhat creepy and malicious. So it's like for me, he's like a one-dimensional character with a couple of bumps to make it somewhat three-dimensional, but he's still one-dimensional.
Mm.
And then you get an exposition dump on your main character as well, where I'm like, you weren't building up to anything, and then a character just pops in and is like, hey, let me give this exposition dump as to like who you are as a character. And I'm like, I don't know how I feel about this. And then I get to the fucking 5th chapter and I'm like, this is feeling like the end of the game. And then I get to the final boss and I'm like, oh, we're at the end of the game. And I'm like, whoa, like this is kind of a disappointment.
What a drag.
Like the creepy shit is still there in the game. I give it that. Like there are some annoyances where I have with some of the creepy shit. One example is this jump scare that happens where it's this ghost girl. She's this ghost cartoon character, but like the creepy factor from her is that like she's an enemy that you can't hit or anything. She just pops in, and essentially what you have to do is get out of her way. But the annoyance becomes when you're trying to walk, and then all of a sudden, it's mostly the audio from this character because she appears and then she starts screaming, like high pitched screaming, and I was like, and I kept jumping because of the fact that scream was so fucking high, and I'm like, God, like I shouldn't be scared of this because I don't want to call it a cheap scare, but like it's what it is. It's kind of a cheap scare because it is a jump scare. That's what it is. And I think the other thing that kind of like I wasn't digging as well was that there's these ink enemies that appeared in the first game and they didn't talk. That added to the creepiness of that first game. Was it like, what the fuck are these weird ink people things? But in this game, these ink people talk, but they talk crazily, and this is where it started to remind me a lot more of BioShock, because you know how you have the splicers in BioShock, the people who
Mm.
genetically alter themselves, and they like if you hear them, they just talk like in crazy sentences.
Yeah.
That's essentially what these ink people were. Like they were just saying weird, crazy shit, and it's just like, like they borrowed a lot of elements from BioShock, and it's like,
Yeah.
it's like I'm not trying to like shit on the game for borrowing elements because that's what most games do. Most games borrow elements from other games, and that's how it usually works out. But yeah, it's just one of those things where I'm like, I think this game was style over substance, and I kind of want more substance. So, Bendy,
Even if you are shitting on the game, at least you have a
a
duvet,
bidet,
a day.
bidet. There you go.
Yeah,
I
I have
can
one too. I just can't remember the word, man. Look at that.
I can wash my ass
What's a
afterwards.
duvet?
A duvet, I believe, is a bed thing.
Is it?
Yeah,
Okay.
you can look this up. Duvet.
I'm not looking at that. Fuck that shit.
Okay, fair
Do I
enough.
look that fancy?
I mean, you got a bidet, but anyways, yeah, Indie and the Dark Revival. I wouldn't say it's one of the biggest disappointments, but I was a little disappointed. Because I was really excited for this sequel. But I just didn't live up to my. I think that was the issue. Was that like it? I was expecting this game to be, I wouldn't say like mind blowing, but better than the first. And like I said, visually, it looks fantastic. Like the ink reflections just look really, really cool. But it just doesn't really do anything to make it feel like a really good sequel.
Yep.
Yeah, and especially with the amount of like content in there where it's like, oh, and I think that was like my biggest issue was that like Once you enter the final boss room, that's it. You can't like load up the save before you go into it. You have to make a save before you do that. Before you enter the boss room, because then you have no other chance of exploring the world and trying to find like the rest of the health upgrades and the rest of the shit that you want to find. And yeah, I was just like, oh, there's no new game plus. You got to go through this shit again and find those health
Oh
items
man,
again. Yeah.
that's very like Drake. Uh,
Uncharted?
Uncharted.
Okay. Oh, that was also another thing I did with my week, but that I'll get to that. So you know how I was mentioning that like I got Uncharted 4 for my PC because it came free
Yeah.
with my processor.
Yep.
So I was like, all right, I kind of want to play the original Uncharted game, so I finished Uncharted on crushing difficulty. The first one.
No.
I
PC?
no on PS5.
Okay, I was like, there's no reason unless
No,
you get your trophies.
no, I wasn't playing for trophies. It's just like I just want to go back and revisit these games because it's been so
But if
long.
you're gonna do crushing, get your fucking trophies, dude. Okay.
I don't want to get my trophy because like I was also seeing that this fucking thing.
Not all the trophies. I'm just saying if you're gonna play crushing, get the crushing trophy.
Oh yeah, no, I got the crushing trophy because I was like I never played this game on the hardest difficulty. The hardest difficulty after
Yep.
fucking crushing is brutal, and brutal you unlock after you beat crushing.
Gotcha.
Anyways, I've beat on crushing. The last part of that game was where I was really having a hard time, but yeah, that's that last part. Do you remember the last part of Uncharted 1? You're on
Not well.
Okay, you're on a ship and basically you have to like cover from the bad guy and his armed forces.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I realized that like Uncharted 1 is still on PS4. That remaster looks really good, and I remember it's Blue Point, so it's like that's why it looks really good. But even then, like that game was one of the best like PS3 like look what we can do with this fucking console visually.
Yeah.
Overall, fun time I had with the crushing difficulty. Still crushing. I don't think I'm gonna like get all the trophies for it because like there's ones that involved speed running, and I'm like I don't know if I want to do that. Oh shit, my cat. Sorry.
That shit was tough, bro. I got the plat on the first one, and
Oh
it
really?
was.
Mm. Mm.
You're saying crushing mode was fun? I fucking hated it.
Oh
Felt like
really?
a nightmare to me.
Okay. I was planning on playing Uncharted 2 on crushing, but I'll get there when I get there. Yeah, like I said, Uncharted 1, I still enjoyed my time, but I don't know. Crushing was crushing. And then what else did I beat? Oh, I beat this game called Chernobyl Light. I don't know if you ever heard of it.
I think I've heard of it. Never like actually looked into it.
So I thought this game was like Stalker. Even though like I've never played Stalker, I would hear people talk about how like, oh, Stalker is one of those like crazy immersive games. So I played Chernobyl Light. Chernobyl Light is an interesting game where I think I enjoyed this game solely because of its gameplay, not because of its story. The story has really interesting concepts where I'm like, okay, I can dig this. But I think overall it wasn't that strong. Like there's some weird and crazy ideas which I think, oh, that seems pretty cool. But the characters I just didn't care about. I didn't care about our main character's like whole mission, which is essentially to find out what happened to his wife. Because even when you get the actual truth behind that, it's just like it has a bit of a twist, and I'm like, okay, the twist is okay, but like overall, I just didn't care. The reason why I cared for that game so much was because I was obsessed with crafting. So that is the main thing of that game is where you craft. So you have a base. You can craft state workstations in order for you to create new weapons, create armor, create health items, the basic stuff like that. And then you can go further and beyond with like try to think like um oh, you can make a rail gun. So that's like, it just
Mm.
ups the ante of like what you can build, and you have to like resource manage all your shit. Excuse me. But the game kind of like leads you to a point where you're doing all these missions and you're trying to figure out um excuse me, one second.
You good? Bless you, I think.
No, sorry. I just coughed, but like my cat is just like going nuts right next to me. Um what was I about to say? Oh yeah, so the game has some resource shit that like you kind of have to like kind of work with because you can have party members. The reason why is because you can essentially send your party members to go either find food, find resources, find ammo, find weapons, and all this other shit. And then you have main story missions where you're trying to figure out the whole thing that happened to your wife. And then the lead up to doing all this stuff is a heist. And you can choose from your party members of like, okay, you're gonna be you guys are gonna be the infiltrators. One guy's gonna be the spy, the other guy's gonna be the sniper, and this other guy's gonna be the technician. So figure out who and goes who. And this is kind of where I kind of lead back to the whole thing of like looking up a guide, because there was one thing that I got stuck with, where the game introduces this thing where you can do a VR simulation uh like of clues that you find from the world of like um of this one particular bad guy, the Black Stalker. Yes, the evilest bad guy, where his whole ordeal is that he's so mysterious. So it's like, okay, who is this guy? So if you find enough clues, you can figure out who the Black Stalker is and all this and that. Um, the only issue was that like I wasn't able to find one specific clue, and I was like, okay, where is this clue? So that's where I got kind of spoiled as to like, oh, there's a certain thing that happens at the heist at the end game, where a certain decision that you make affects the ending. So I was like, oh, okay.
Great.
So I just went so I just went back and I'm like, all right, I'll try to get this the true ending essentially. Um and yeah, I like overall I enjoyed more. I don't know why. I think I really like crafting games. I think Subnautica awoke something in me where I'm like, I really like
Dude,
crafting games.
love. Haven't finished it, but love Subnautica.
Like Subnautica like really hit something with me where I was just like, I've never played any crafting games previously. Like the only crafting I got into was Fallout 4's crafting, and that was like somewhat bare bones. But with Subnautica, it was just like, all right, what can I build? Oh, I can expand on this. Oh, I can get this thing. Oh, I need to find this specific material and this and that. Like it really like, I don't know, hit my monkey brain with something where it's just like, go collect, go get shiny thing to make bigger shiny thing.
Keep trying.
Yeah, my monkey brain. And yeah, it's just like I was so obsessed with with Chernobylite of just like figuring out, all right, what can I craft next, or what does my base need? The other interesting part of Chernobylite, where that crafting is very important, is when you go into the world, because basically how the world is set up is like each different hub world. Like for example, you're going to a like a city area or like a small village area, and these are small contained levels. Um, but the interesting aspect is you can craft these machines. One machine can reduce the amount of radiation in the area, and it stacks. So the more machines you make, the less radiation occurs in there. Um, or you can make a machine that reduces the amount of monsters, because there are monsters in this game, the amount of monsters that appear, and it stacks as well. And then the other thing that I didn't really have happen, because this is also another part of this game, is that like it is a very jank game. It is, I think it's a European team, so it is very jank.
Oh, Europeans can't code.
Europeans
Then,
can't code; they only make jank. um in which there'll be moments where like I'm shooting an enemy, or like oh god, this one time where I was trying to go stealth and I took an enemy down and I'm like, okay, cool, I'm fine. And then the enemy just like as he's falling down, as he ragdolls, for some reason he just bounces, and then his buddy sees him on the other side and is like, we got an enemy ahead, and it's just like, what is happening? um yeah, the game's a little janky, but like I said, the other machine that you can make, and like I said, I never experienced this, was that the Black Stalker can actually be a enemy that pursues you. So if you're in the world in your little area for too long, the Black Stalker can show up and basically try to fight you. So you can set up a machine that essentially stops him, or delays him, excuse me, not stops him. It delays him from coming into the world. But I've never had that happen throughout my entire playthrough where he just pops in randomly. He only pops in like story specific areas, and that's it. But never like when I'm out exploring for like more food or anything like that. And that's also the other thing, is that like talking about like resource management is, after a mission is done, you have your companions, and depending whether or not your companions bring back some stuff, you have the option to give them the amount of food that you think is right. So you have the option of either giving them nothing, giving them like a scrap, giving or half,
True power.
giving them half. Yes, true power. Giving them a full not food supply, of a full ration or double ration. And depending which one you choose, you could either boost up their morale or decrease their morale. And there are certain events throughout the story that happen where a companion can be like, oh, okay, for example, one companion is like, yo, I'm trying to steal all these weapon supplies from our enemy. Let's take all this weapon supplies and blow up their tent. And then another companion chimes in and he's like, hey, let's not do that. Let's try to keep everything cool and, you know, keep everything all sneakily. So you have the option of either choosing with one companion with their idea, or choosing another companion with their idea. And depending who you choose can alter your relationship with other companion. So if their feelings towards you is so bad, the companion can come up to you and be like, yo, I'm not part of this team anymore, like we're done here. And
That's
the reason
pretty cool. That's
that
a big ass change.
yeah, that's the thing that I really appreciate, is just like, okay, what can I better my relationship with this companion? But there's a twist that happens towards the end of the game where it's like, okay, gotta have to rework this. So and you really, if you want to get through the heist section of the game like well enough, you need all your party members. So that's where I was trying to, like, because I got spoiled, I was like, all right, I got to keep all my party members together. So yeah, that was basically the whole idea, was just to keep everyone together so we can complete this heist mission.
Yeah.
So there's a thing in the game where also the guide came out to help me, was because of the certain decisions you make, your decisions matter. It's very big in video games that your decisions matter. So when you die in the game, you have the ability to basically fix certain decisions that you make, because the whole basis of this game is time loops and weird black hole warping shit. So let's say there's a critical decision that you make that affects a certain aspect of the story. You can die, go into this little like decision world, and basically rewrite the decision you make. The only currency that's needed for that world is Chernobylite, which is this new material that you find because of it's this world material that you find. And you use Chernobylite to change the outcome. But what's interesting is, you know, you change the outcome of one decision, but then the game tells you, okay, since you change this outcome, a different thing has to be changed. So you have to change this other outcome. And that's what you do. You try to figure out this whole thing. The one time that I was like, oh shit, like this was something I was not expecting, was a certain event that happened for that's very important whether or not a party member joins your party. Um so for example, I'm out in the world doing a main mission, and basically this guy that I find in world uh is like, yo, like I know who you are, like I know where you're hiding at, but I'm not gonna tell the bad guys where you're at. So if you just let me through, that'd be great. Like I just want to go back to my village, and that'll be fine. Um, so my first party member chimes in and he's like, hey, don't let that guy like out, like kill him, like get rid of him because he knows too much. Like he can give our position away to our enemies. So I just went with, all right, fuck it. I guess he's dying. So I killed him. Uh so then, oh shit, hold on. Okay, for some reason a little command thing just popped up. Um so yeah, afterwards in the game you get to another story mission where a uh a person is like, "Hey, I need you to do this mission for me where I need you to find somebody for me and also get this thing, get our food supplies back." So I was like, "Okay, cool. Gonna go get my go get the mission thing, come back and this and that." So as I'm getting the food supply, there's also a thing that I find that's like, oh, the person I'm looking for is is the husband of the person that gave me the mission, or the person that becomes my new companion. So as I'm reading this log thing, uh it's revealed that the person that I found in the previous mission that I killed was that party companion's husband. And that determines whether or not that party member joins you. So you can have a decision whether or not you tell the truth or lie to them. And there's a whole event thing that happens where, okay, I die, I go to the decision world, and I'm like, okay, let me rewrite this thing where I don't kill the guy. So I don't kill the guy, but then a new thing happens where the guy is imprisoned and I have to go set him out. So I set him out, fine. But then he comes up to me and is like, "Hey, our current leader, who's the stepfather of my wife, uh is basically somebody I don't trust. So there's a little thing I'm going to do to him. I'm going to basically put something in his food that makes him a little more docile." Uh, so he's like, "You gonna help me or not?" So another decision popped in.
You gotta help, brah.
He's like, you gonna help me or not? Because I'm gonna need these supplies. So I'm like, okay, fine, I'll help you. So then it kind of leads into like a chain of events of certain things that I don't really want to go into because it's a lot to explain. But it all like comes into the story. There, like I said, there's a lot of like really really cool shit that that you do in the game. There's a lot of smart things that are in the game, but the game's janky. And like I said, I didn't really give a shit about the characters as much. Um, but the crafting was fun. Uh, and the whole time loop shit is a very very good concept, which I really enjoy. And the lore shit as well is very cool, where like they try to explain what are these warping points that are just like appearing out of nowhere. Why are these monsters showing up? Um, if they were ever to do a sequel on this, I'm really hoping they polish up on a lot of the gameplay because, like I said, it is very jank. But overall, pretty good, like gameplay wise. So yeah, Chernobyl Light. I'm trying to think, is there anything else I want to add to Chernobyl Light? Yeah, no, and like getting all the trophies is pretty easy. Like I was expecting it to be like, crazy Easter egg trophies, but no. Like just play the game. That's it.
That's not bad.
Yeah, it's like it's not a bad platinum to get if you really want to achievement hunt Chernobylite. But yeah, like I said, if they were to do a sequel, hopefully they work out some of the kinks of this one. Oh,
Sure.
and there's some weird audio shit that happens as well. So I was playing this game on in Russian because
Right.
obviously I wanted to be immersed in the Russian world. Um, because the English dub is very weird. Because some characters are voiced by English people, and then you got
Right.
some people who have American accents, and it's just like this weird combination of like all supposed to be Russian. And it's just like I don't know where this is going. Um, but there are some weird audio instances where I'm playing the main character, and the main character has this very deep and gruff voice. And then when he starts yelling, he sounds like a completely different person. Or there are some times where he interacts with another character and his dialogue just he sounds like a completely different person at times. It's so bizarre. Like I said, it's jank. It's very jank. Um but yeah, those are the 4 games I beat. Currently the one thing that I'm actually putting a lot of time into as of now is Remnant from the Ashes.
Oh my fucking god. Oh my god. What are you doing in it? Can I play with you?
So this is
I'm
hilarious.
like I sound like I'm joking, but I really want
Really
to
want to
play this
play.
one too. If you're gonna play,
So I know you and Wesley got really into that game. Uh,
okay. Why are you playing it? Can you explain real fast?
wait, what?
Why are you playing it?
Why am I playing it?
Yes.
Okay. So I think it's because of the fact that like during the Steam Winter Sale, I was looking for like some uh Souls
Wait,
like
are you playing on
games.
PC?
No, I'm playing it on PlayStation.
Okay, okay, okay.
Because I forgot that they added a patch to run on newer
I'm
consoles.
not gonna buy another one. That's why I was
Yeah,
asking.
yeah, yeah, no, I want to do that. But that game is weird. Okay, so anyways, um yeah, so I was looking for like more Souls like games. I bought Thymesia, which is one of those like Bloodborne looking games. It was an indie game that came out that looks very Bloodborne-ish. Um but I remember I had The Surge, which is a game I just never played, which is a Souls
Oh
like,
my god. Oh, no, no.
but then after I remembered I have The Surge, I remembered, oh yeah, Remnant from the Ashes.
Hmm.
I was like, I know, like I thought that game was pretty cool, and I'm like, all right, I guess I'll play it and just do the whole story as single player wise. And like I said, that game is very weird.
Hmm.
Where
It's super like indie shooter.
yeah, I forget who developed Remnant from the Ashes, but
I
um
don't know either.
hold on, let me figure this out. Yeah, because it is indie. Um because it's technically a sequel for that VR game that
Chronos.
Chronos, yes, but that
Yeah,
game. Oh,
Chronos is also you can play on controller.
so that's the thing is that they did a re-release of that game, which
Hmm.
became a Souls game, which I heard from some people it's not really the best.
It's
Uh,
not, but like I am playing through it because of Remnant.
yeah. But I think what also part of it as well was because of the sequel getting announced.
Okay, okay. That's why I was asking. Yes, 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 yes. That video looks so cool.
Yeah, because like I
I
was
saw
like,
some gameplay. It still looks pretty terrible like the first one, but uh you can definitely see some upgrade to the visual of
oh,
the second one. So I'm excited.
Gunfire Games. That's who the developer is. But Gunfire Games is owned by they're owned by THQ Nordic.
To be fair, THQ Nordic's games are never very polished to me.
Yeah, but yeah, so
Like, they're usually some good games though.
they developed the Definitive edition of Darksiders 2,
Mm-hmm.
Chronos, Darksiders 3. Uh
3 was terrible.
yeah,
Not because
yeah.
of gameplay, well, not because of storyline, but the game itself plays so terribly. At least on
It's
the PS4. I could try it on the PS5.
oh yeah, no, I played it on PC. Like it wasn't my favorite game, but I enjoyed somewhat of it.
There were
Because
so many points where like
I
I
heard
would
yeah,
try to load and it would just literally load for like, I'm not exaggerating, 10 minutes
yeah, I
before
heard
I could move.
Yeah, I heard the console version for 3 was just atrocious. So
Yeah, dude.
yeah,
That's why they gave it away for free, because nobody wanted
nobody
that
was buying
fucking
it.
game.
Yeah. But yeah, Remnant from the Ashes is such an interesting
Oh my god.
game because of how many things. It feels like a mishmash of like different games all into one.
Feels
Because
like a Diablo shooter.
it's very bizarre because it's like, okay, let's introduce this post-apocalypse world. Okay, but let's also add some weird interdimensional demon shit.
Mhm.
Okay, and then let's also add some fairy tale stuff.
So you didn't play Chronos. So if
Okay,
you played Chronos, you'd understand.
yeah. Sorry, I'm not a true Chronos fan. You know,
No.
I'm
Like,
playing the Drek that is Dark Souls.
so like if you do play Chronos, this is literally the opening like 2 parts,
Yeah.
which is you like open a portal to like different lands with these crystals or some shit.
Mm.
It's cool, man. It's cool.
Did you beat Chronos? No, you're still going through it.
Still going through it. It's hard as shit, man. Like one, it's hard because the mechanics are fucking terrible. So
Oh,
like when you're trying to like block a fight, like normally in Souls it would block or like take less damage. And like whenever I do it, I still get like hit for the full amount. And it's
mm.
just it's because of the game's like jankiness basically.
Okay.
Um
Okay. I think I think
Still
I'm
fun.
I think I'm more curious because of the fact that I wonder if it can be worse than Lords of the Fallen.
Probably.
I don't know, like I think
Story wise, maybe not, but yeah.
cuz I'm trying to think cuz I it's on sale on Steam, but I forget how much it is.
Chronos?
Yeah, because of the winter sale.
What did I pay for it on PlayStation? I think I paid like maybe $10.
$7.
On what, Steam?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm seeing a lot of the reviews and people are like it's okay. It's not
Yeah,
the
it's definitely not a good game.
yeah.
Like it's not anything that's gonna knock your socks off. But I am having fun. I just got to the part where you get magic, and that was really cool. And it's very interesting the way you get it.
Okay.
At least in my opinion.
I have to think about it, but like currently, right now, Remnant from the Ashes is like the thing that I'm focusing on. The gun stuff, I kind of enjoy.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why. Like the guns feel pretty good. You know.
Yep.
Right now, I'm rocking the sniper rifle and regular pistol. But the neat thing is I have the summon dog, so I use the summon dog, and the summon dog really helps with a lot of those boss fights.
Not gonna lie, I can't remember the boss fights though, man. Having like multiple people there is so much fun.
Yes, so I think that's one of the things that I have a bit of a criticism on, and it's because I don't really enjoy boss fights where enemies spawn in.
Mhm.
But I think if you were to play with more people, it helps.
Yeah.
But playing it solo while trying to face a boss while also having these enemies just spawn up is kind of annoying, but the reason why they're there is to give you more ammo. So it's like there's an obvious reason as to why those enemies exist during the boss fight. Um yeah, overall, like I'm kind of enjoying myself. Right now I'm in the swamp area. I restarted essentially. Because after we played, I didn't remember how to play the game or like what the
Completely
mechanics were.
fair. I get it.
Yeah. So I was just like, let me just restart this whole thing. And on top of that, I think we're going really fast when I was playing with you and Wesley, because you guys were so leveled out.
Yeah.
So I was just like, let me try to have the better experience of me figuring this game out.
Yeah. Sorry about that, brother.
No, it's fine because it's just like it's an interesting concept. I'm gonna say overall, like it's just weird because of the amount of mishmashing it does of like weird elemental world stuff. It's very bizarre. Um, yeah, it's weird. Did you play the DLC or not yet?
Yeah, I beat that entire thing to the ground.
Damn.
Because when I bought it, the game itself, base game, was like $10, and then DLCs were like half off. So I think they're 15. So maybe like $7
Okay. That
each. And I was like, oh, like $30 for an entire game, like with DLCs, absolutely.
I think that's what I paid as well. Or no, maybe I spent full price because I think it goes during the time.
No, it's always on sale.
Yeah, maybe
Like,
I got.
whenever something goes on, whenever there's a sale, that game completely goes on sale.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember because like I remember Wesley was like the one that was like, "Yeah, we should all play it together," and I was like, "Okay, I guess I'll get it." And then I got it, and then I never played it, and you guys went full deep into it. And then the one time I was like, "Oh yeah, I'll play with you guys." You guys were all decked out in like fucking crazy armor, and I was just like, "Where do you get this?"
Yeah, that
Yeah.
shit was so cool. Some of those bosses are just such, such like I wouldn't say innovative thinking, but such good thinking on like how to make the bosses work
Mm,
and like stuff like that. I think a lot of the game though, as far as like base gameplay, like cities and bad guys, like
mm,
have very little depth to them
mm.
because the cities are like super barren,
Yeah,
don't have like a
I
lot to go.
I got through Rom, the desert world,
Yeah,
and I'm like,
that's the main one that I was like, yeah, it's
yeah,
great.
it's like one of the most like unappealing visually.
Yeah.
Right now I'm currently in the swamp because I'm doing the quest where I'm hunting the swamp beast.
Yep.
But like I said, the concept is really neat where you got some of the lore stuff, and the lore stuff is kind of neat as well, where it talks about like this root is like infecting your world, and like, okay, that's cool. Um,
Yeah.
but I don't know, like I think for now, like the boss fights haven't really there hasn't been a boss fight that I've gone through that I can say, oh man, this is like one of the best boss fights I've played as of yet. I don't know if like there's something you can think of that's coming out like later on after the swamp area.
Have you fought the boss in the swamp?
No, not yet.
Mm, there's gonna be a boss fight on a bridge. That one I
Okay.
liked.
Okay. So I'll keep
It's
my
hard
eyes open.
though, too, at the same time.
Okay. But that's also the other thing is that like I was having I'm playing it on normal and I was like having a bit of a hard time because of the amount of enemies that swarm you. So
Yep.
that's where, some of the hard aspect comes into it. But the dog summon is so fucking helpful. I love that dog. That doggo is a good boy. The only
I don't remember it honestly.
so the only problem with the doggo summon is that there are enemy dogs that look exactly like your doggo summon,
Mhm.
and your doggo summon sometimes just runs off and then he disappears. So there would be moments where I'm running down and I'm like, okay, my
Where'd he
dog,
go?
yeah, where'd he go? Okay, he's probably just running around. And then I see a dog come by. I'm like, oh, it's probably my doggo coming near me. And it's a fucking enemy dog. And I'm like, oh, not my doggo. So then I have to fucking kill the doggo. And I'm like, oh, that there has to be like a visual indicator to let me know this is my doggo,
Yeah.
please.
There
But
are
yeah,
many like him, but this one is mine.
this one is mine, even though he looks like the rest of them. Uh, but overall, I'm kind of enjoying my time. I was seeing on How Long to Beat that this game is like 13 hours for the base game, and then the DLC stuff is like altogether another 8 to 7 hours,
Really? It felt longer than that.
or maybe a little bit
But
longer, depending.
sounds about right. Maybe 30 together.
Yeah, so I'll probably keep playing. And yeah, it's just like that sequel trailer was like, yeah, I forgot that like Remnant from the Ashes
Dude.
does a lot of like really crazy mishmashing, and I'm like, I kind of dig it.
When I saw that trailer, I immediately was like Remnant because I was talking with my brother watching it, and
Uh-huh.
and he was like, "What?" And I was like, "It's this like Diablo shooter loot game. Like it's so like and again like everything I go back to is Diablo, right? Because it's just like the thing that I love so much." Um, and like he was like, "Oh, I want to try that." I'm just like, it's pretty fun.
Yeah.
And that one looks like it's gonna be way fucking well put together, or more well put together. The hopes is that if
This
this one aesthetically doesn't look as good, the third one, if they make a third one, will look even better.
I'm just hoping that they learned from obviously I that's the whole hope of anybody that sees a sequel for a game that was like it's I guess just very niche is just like hopefully it's good and they learned from what they did before that they can work on. Because like I said, there's some stuff that's very interesting, but I think overall the gameplay is the shooting feels good. That it feels good.
Yes.
But that's also the other aspect of it is like there's really nothing that I can say is memorable, but I'm not
I agree.
I'm not in the game fully to give that, that final thought on. So
Yeah.
uh
To be fair, it's the team's first like new IP in a while, I think.
no, Kronos is.
Well, right. So it is a sequel technically,
Yeah.
but like there's a difference. Man, now that I'm thinking about it, I don't think Chronos has guns. I think you're straight up
It's
hand to hand
yeah,
combat.
it's just sword and shield. That's what I've seen of the gameplay.
When they made this one, like it feels like an entirely different game.
Yeah, that's where I was like thinking. I was like, I know this game has been called like a Souls clone, but to have it be shooting is kind of a neat little switch up for it.
Yes.
But that's also the other thing is that like I feel like it's not really punishing as Souls because when you die, you don't necessarily lose anything, do you?
Uh,
Like you keep all your scraps, you keep all your
I'm not
monies,
sure honestly,
but like
but I also like don't think it's meant to be that punishing because it's not. It's not a direct like. It's not supposed to be a Souls game. I don't think. I think people are just
it's a pseudo.
say because people do shit like that all the time where they'll be like, it's this is just like a Souls game, and it's like just because something's hard doesn't mean it's a Souls game.
Yeah, but like it has elements of Souls because you have the level up your health lady who's very mysterious and weird, and then
Right. And
y-
I get that. I'm just saying like when you like lose stuff or not losing stuff, that's what I'm saying. Like it's not supposed to be a Souls game, right? Like maybe partially, but
partially
definitely not.
there like I
That's
said,
definitely not a whole.
I mean, there's a lot of Souls clones that like blatantly rip off from
Yes.
Dark Souls, but then something like this where it's like it has elements of Souls, but it's kind of its own thing in a way.
Yeah.
Because of that shooting. The shooting is like one of the things that makes it interesting. Um, because I was just not expecting it to be shooting. Uh, so yeah, Remnant from the Ashes. Probably gonna keep playing it. Just yeah, guns feel good in that game. So one thing of note, well, a couple things of note that I bought during the Steam Winter Sale, was I. So for this year, I kind of want to break out of my gaming shell a little bit and try other genres that I've never really dealt with. And the biggest one I feel like is RTSs. I'm
Oh baby.
I never really got into RTSs. So the one thing I kept seeing, and this was part of our news, was Warhammer. So I was like, why do people really like Warhammer? Uh and I'm looking on Steam and I'm like, okay, what are the good Warhammer games? So I went to different websites that's like, okay, the premium Warhammer game that you can get that is still really good that a lot of people really like, even if you don't really do RTSs, is Dawn of War. Have you heard of Dawn of War?
Huh?
Yes? Is that
Yeah.
yes? Oh, okay. So I got Dawn of War. I haven't booted it up yet, but I forgot that these are the same people that did Company of Heroes. And I've heard Company of Heroes is good, but I haven't played it. Because like I said, I never got into RTSs. I really wanted to try Halo Wars, but but because I didn't know really anything of Halo, or let alone at the time didn't have an Xbox, I never got into Halo Wars. So it's just like never really played RTSs. Um, but yeah, I'm very interested in playing Dawn of War. I'm curious whether or not I should play Company of Heroes, the first one, because I know the second one was free for a bit on Steam. The second one, yeah, the second not Dawn of Heroes, excuse me, Company of Heroes.
Mm. I liked Warcraft, um, which like it's sort of RTS.
Hmm.
And my favorite RTS is probably StarCraft.
Okay, yeah, I know people really like StarCraft. I know the Koreans have their competitive StarCraft.
Wow.
The Koreans. Uh, so a couple things that I bought during the sale is this little indie game called Chain Echoes, which a lot of people are praising, which looks really neat. It's a little RPG. Chain Echoes. I'm looking through my list right now. Darkwood. This is another one. It's a little horror game indie team as well. Oh, Divinity, Original Sin.
Yeah.
I keep hearing good things about Divinity 2, so I'm like, I kind of want to play Divinity Original Sin, even though it's technically a prequel, right? As far as I know, because there are the older Divinity games, but yeah, Divinity.
Those old ass Divinity games, I literally have on PC disc from back when they came out.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Okay. And how were they?
Ass.
Okay, cool.
But
I hear good things.
But that's my own personal opinion, you know.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying is that I hear good things about these versions of Divinity or the Original Sin shit.
No, there's a huge following for these games.
Okay.
People love this shit. So it's just me.
Yeah.
You know?
No, I get you.
And like, yeah, you.
So I also got this game that I've been eyeing for a good while that I keep hearing very, very good things about it. It's this little indie game called Ender Lilies.
Okay.
The gameplay of it looks really, really good. I keep hearing that the music's really good, so I kind of want to play this game, you know, on my own time. But I'm trying to think, what else did I get? No, I've had that for a while. Oh, what the fuck is that? No. Grim Dawn.
It's RTS.
No, Grim Dawn is a Diablo like. You can look it up right now. Grim Dawn.
When are you gonna pre-order your Diablo 4, bro?
Oh yeah, I gotta pre-order my Diablo 4 and then be hit with microtransactions to be like, you want to get Lilith's armor set? You want Lilith's butt?
Oh wow, that does look very Diablo-y.
Yeah. I looked at it, I was like, it kind of reminds me of Diablo 3, and I really like Diablo 3.
I can 1,000% say I probably wouldn't like it though, because like they'd probably be like, it's like when people told me to play Path of Exile. I had a bunch of people say like,
yeah.
they were like, it's so much fun.
Yeah.
And then I would join and they're like, we're pirates. And I'm like, I don't want to, what? No, pirates are dumb. Get away from me.
No, you guys are
It's like when
pirates.
someone's like, do you want to play, you should play this game. And then they're like, we're like, what the fuck is John Marston and shit? We're cowboys. I don't want to be a 5-year-old dog.
We're Red Dead.
Like cowboys and Indian. Yeah.
So what is it? Is it like an actual, like, you got to do some RPing? You got to do some role play for it?
For what?
For Path of Exile? Or
no, Path of Exile. That's just like part of the fucking like little story that when it opens up, they're like, let's go get pirate treasure R. And I was like,
R
no,
matey.
good, never mind.
The
reason I love Diablo so much, man, is because it's like straight up just evil hellfire death versus, you know, angelic light.
So you want to know the hilarious thing? So when I was looking up like the discussions on Grim Dawn to see whether or not I would like it, because I was contemplating on whether or not to get just the base version or get the complete version, but there's a huge price difference. Base version is like $6, and then getting like all the rest of the DLCs is like fucking $30. So I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna like this game or not. So I'll just get the $6 base version. But I was looking up the discussions and shit, and basically people were saying with like this game, like a lot of Diablo heads were like, I really like this game, and what's really cool is that like a lot of people are modding this game to a degree that you can essentially play Diablo 2 on this. And I'm like, what? And it's and this the reason why they talk about this is because this is before Diablo 2 Resurrected happened.
Yeah.
So people wanted like their Diablo itch scratched. So, you know, more power to them. But yeah, Grim Dawn is one of the other things that I got. What else did I get? What else did I get? Looking through Steam library. Oh, I got Atelier Ryza. They're these anime games that I saw.
Okay.
I got the first and the second one that I'm like, I'm gonna play these someday. Uh, one of these days. Let's see.
Somebody gave me Steam money, by the way,
Oh.
for my birthday. Like one of my friends' girlfriends.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I was just like, oh, I don't play Steam. And then I was like thinking about it, and I was like, oh my god, I can finally buy Danganronpa.
Yeah, because it's not a super
So
graphically intensive game.
yeah, right. That's exactly what I thought. I was like, oh yeah, like this is perfect. I wanted to get it on PlayStation now.
Yeah.
I did what's it called? I went on to check, and the Steam sale was gone. I was like, oh, like I'm gonna wait for another sale because all the games I'll be able to buy all the games at some point together.
Right now.
Are they on sale right now?
Yeah.
What's the sale? Well, hold on, for real?
Yeah. Look it
Can you
up.
check for me what it is?
Yeah, hold on. Let me finish my list. Oh, I also got Pentiment, that new game from Obsidian, where it's like medieval drawings. It's like
Oh yeah.
I hear that's really fucking good, so I got it. Uh
Okay.
because I don't have Game Pass. Not anymore.
Is it on Game Pass?
It's on Game Pass, but I was like
Oh, you just reminded me. Okay.
get Game Pass.
It's something I gotta say. Yeah.
Okay.
Forgot about Game Pass.
What else did I get? What else did I get? Trying to look through my list. Damn, it feels like I got more shit. Oh, I got Skullgirls Encore. I'm going to play
Nice.
that. Because I really liked what I played of Skullgirls, but the version I got was like with the new DLC, the new season that came out. So I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna get it.
I mean, Skullgirls is supposed to be a really good game.
And
So.
the PC community is pretty big. Like it's better to play on PC rather than PS4 or PlayStation in general. So that's why I got it, because I'm like, I kind of want to play people online. Do 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 do. The fuck else did I get? The fuck else did I get? Wait, oh, I had that game? Okay, I'm sorry. Oh yeah, Thymesia was another one. Thymesia, Dawn of War, Warhammer. Oh, Wasteland. Wasteland 2 director's cut specifically. The reason why I got to Wasteland 2 was because I played the remastered of Wasteland 1, and it's very old. Uh so I was looking online, I'm like, do I gotta play 1? And there's a lot of like people on like forums and shit talking about like, no, you can just play 2. You know, 1 is one of those games where it's like, if you have nostalgia for it, go ahead, or like if you're really up to playing one of these older RPGs, go right ahead. But 2 is like a little bit more modern, because it is the reason why I was so interested in it is because it is the original creators of Fallout. So it's like, you know, go if you want to into it. Oh, this little indie game called the Yuppie Psycho, which I got, looked interesting. Yeah, really? Is that what I got? I feel like I got a shit ton. I'm looking at my library. I'm like, no, I bought that like weeks ago, and yeah, I think that might be it. Yeah. Yeah, so yeah, I bought a couple things on the Steam sale. Probably gonna buy more. Oh yeah, let me look up the Danganronpa thing. You wanted to mention something? Go ahead.
Uh, oh yeah. So there's two things I forgot to say that I had done or that had happened. Um, so I bought, what is it called? Oh, hold on, I gotta look up the game. It's on my PlayStation.
Okay. Quick question. How much did how much is your gift?
I think 40.
40?
Oh shit.
So there's different versions you can get. You
Hmm?
can either get all three mainline Danganronpas, Danganronpa 1, 2, and V3 for $23.97, or you can get 1 and 2 for $14.38,
Died by
or
all three.
okay, or you can get 1 and 2 and Ultra Despair Girls for fucking $25. Get the 3, not Ultra Despair Girls.
Yeah. I'll
Yeah.
get the 3.
Okay.
Um,
So
I
remember,
bought Anthem
why?
because it was $1
Oh,
on PlayStation.
why you do
Um,
this?
One, it's basically a Destiny clone, so why would I want to play it? Um,
Okay.
and I started playing it, and man, like the characters seem really fun. I don't know, like it really sucks to say. I think I would have liked the game more than Destiny if they had kept fucking putting time into it. Um,
Yeah, I guess.
my friend is like, of course, like he wanted me to get it when it came out, and he's like, "Fucking 4 years later, dude, you're playing this shit, of course." And I'm like, "Yeah, it's fun, dude." He's like, "I said it was fun." I was like, "Yeah." Like, yeah, it's pretty fun. I can definitely see myself getting bored of it, like just because like
After a while.
I know there's nothing else coming to it, so I know there's an end,
Yeah,
basically.
they stopped development for it. So
Right. So
whatever's
I
there is
know like
there.
it's gonna get boring in like to me at some point. Um, but I figured for $1, like I get to play around with it and see how it was. And then if I want to, on top of that, I can get a platinum, right? So,
Yeah, I guess. If you want to do that to
uh,
yourself.
this guy.
Mm.
And then so I don't think I said this. Maybe I did. I just can't remember. But
Mm-hmm.
the way I kind of brought in the new year, I was coming home from a friend's house, like maybe like 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock at night, and I'm driving maybe like 8 houses down from his house going home,
Yeah, you're
and I
going.
fucking hit two fucking raccoons.
Oh.
So never have like so it's like in a cartoon where like they're like don't let your animals run in front of cars. They literally like I've never seen an animal run in front of my car. And I
It's
just there's no way I could hit the brakes fast enough. And I
uh-huh.
just heard thump thump. And I was like,
Mm.
oh my God. So like but I kept driving because I was like, nothing I can do
Looking
about this
back,
situation.
they're dead.
But
They're dead.
there was a truck behind me and they dead stopped and they're just like looking at it. And I looked at my brother and I was like, those weren't cats, right? Because like so when they ran by, like I quickly saw like stripes, but like it looked like raccoon stripes, like the white and black.
So you don't
And
know
I
whether or
was
not
like,
they were cats or raccoons.
I mean, I'm not turning around. It's too much. But like,
I committed a crime. I did it. I
it's
committed
not
a
a
hit and run.
crime.
I
It's an
hit and run.
accident at that point.
I
I
totally.
didn't like. I wasn't. What's it called? Singling these cats out, right?
Or
Or
raccoons.
I'm sorry, raccoons. Hopefully,
You got
no,
it
no,
to
no.
your head.
And if they were somebody's cats, like I do feel bad, but like at the same time, like why are you letting your animals out of your house?
That's the thing is that like I just don't feel comfortable with like cats just roaming around because like I think I mentioned this before when I used to work at the post office. There was a route that I did that like there's one particular house that just let their cat out, and this cat would just like cross the street. But I'm in a fucking uh mail truck, so I'm like going stop by stop, so I'm not going full speed down.
Right, right.
But every time I saw that cat, I would get so fucking nervous because I'm like, it's this tiny little street, and people are kind of like zooming down on it, and it's just like,
Yeah.
And then I also had a coworker who I mentioned because this was like when I was working at the post office when I got my cats. So I just mentioned to my coworker like, oh yeah, my cat, this and that, and he's like, yeah, just make sure your cats don't become outdoor cats.
Yeah.
He's like my mom loves cats, but like my mom would let her cat just like go out and just explore. And he's like, that was the worst decision she could ever make because like multiple cats have just died
Jesus.
because of getting run over. And I'm
Yeah.
like, God damn it, man. Like you just instilled a new fear into me.
Well, it's one of those things like people really don't think about it because most people keep their animals inside. But
Yeah.
like, if you let your dog or cat, anything outside, anything can happen. It's the same thing with your kid, right? Like you teach your kid to look both ways on the street.
Yeah.
But animals don't have that same sense,
So
especially if they're in house going outside.
yeah,
They
because
they
like
don't know.
my cats are usually indoor cats. They're gonna be indoor cats. But like there
Right,
are times where like they want to go outside, but we just let them into the backyard. And they're at
right.
fingers crossed, knock on wood. There's never been a point where like they just run through the front door. They always just like if the back door is open, they go outside to the back door because they're accustomed to it. But the front
Mhm.
yard, they know nothing about and they don't want to go anywhere near it. It was so funny because one of the cats was in the backyard and somehow slipped through into the front yard, and my mom saw, uh, like saw the cat go outside. Ellie, she was like walking out for a little bit, and then I think something scared her, and then from that day on, she has never tried to go back to the front yard. So like there's like because we have cameras outside my house. There's a recording of like Ellie going in the front yard, something scaring her, and then her just like bolting back to the backyard. But there's also the fear in me as well, where it's like I wouldn't feel comfortable with just letting my cats just roam outside by themselves. Like they have to be like
Accompanied.
accompanied or supervised by somebody
Mhm.
outside because there's trees in my backyard. So, I'm just afraid that like a bird is going to get one of these cats and think that they're rabbits. And it's
It's real too. Like they'll grab that motherfucker.
exactly, so it's like I don't feel comfortable if they're just wandering by themselves. So that's why, reluctantly I have to go outside with them.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, just fears, so many fears. Uh,
I get it, man.
yeah.
I again like also like I the speed limit's like 10 or 15 in that little area,
Mm.
and like I'm going the speed limit. I just can't believe I can't believe they ran over my car, dude. I just
You
can't
mean
believe it.
you mean you ran over them, not they ran over you. I can't believe
No, I
they
can't believe
just
they ran
I
into
can't
my car
I can't
though.
believe
Like
they
they just
just they decided to just walk into my car and harass my car with them just being there.
dude,
Yeah, I get
man,
it.
it's crazy. Well, it's like it's something you also don't think about. Like you're probably gonna run over something eventually. Like if you
Oh my god.
drive every day,
S-
eventually you're gonna hit something.
Speaking of cats, bro, I remember I think I was driving from work when I was working at the post office and it was fucking dark out. I was driving on my street and then all of a sudden I see this cat just like walk across the road and it's fucking dark and I hit the brakes so fucking hard and but I realized that like I was basically over the point where the cat was and I'm like, "Oh my fucking god, did I run over this goddamn cat?" So I was so paranoid. I parked my car off to the side. I looked under my car to see if the thing wasn't stuck underneath. Wasn't underneath. I looked back on the road to see whether or not it wasn't splattered. Wasn't there. And I'm just in the fucking middle of my street just looking for this fucking thing to see whether or not it either avoided my car or is dead somewhere. I got so paranoid that I called fucking Wesley. It was oh no, that's what it was. I went to go to Wesley's house, not from work. I went to Wesley's house and I was coming back and I called Wesley. I was like, "Yo, I think I hit somebody's cat." He's like, "Really?" He's like, Is the body there?" I'm like, I don't know. I can't find it." He's like, "You sure you hit it?" And I was like, "I don't know." That's why I'm freaking out. He's like, "I mean, if it's not there, it's like, just go home." I'm
Or your
like,
cat.
I was like, "God damn it, man." Like I was getting full paranoid. Uh,
Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
it would be sad, but at the same time, like
Fuck you, cat.
no, I mean
Sure.
like it's gonna it again, like if you let these animals out,
Yeah.
there's always a 50-50 at that point, right?
Yeah, that's why I would not like that for my cats. And so I just rather
Yeah.
have them be supervised in the backyard than go outside in the front yard. But ugh. Anyways, so Anthem.
Yeah, Anthem and running over raccoons, man.
Yeah,
Pretty
they
pretty cool.
coincidthey go together cuz
I mean, apparently.
they're both dead things. So,
That's pretty funny.
uh
Uh, yeah.
uh-huh.
I don't know, man. I can't believe Bioware just killed that bitch. Like,
Yeah,
good
like
game.
I mean that game had like so many problems during development because like I think the
Or
lead
EA like helped with it too, right? They were like
it
the
was
producer or
it
something.
was EA but developed by BioWare,
Yeah,
but that game had so many problems because I think the
yeah.
lead writer was like left during mid production.
Yeah, that's the same thing that happened to Destiny, pretty much.
Yeah. Uh
Um,
uh-huh.
sorry, go ahead.
No, because like I just remembered that I played one more thing. I played a little bit of this game called Dusk. I don't know if you've ever
I
seen it.
know the name. I don't know the game.
It's kind of a boomer shooter.
Oh
Look,
yeah, baby.
yeah, it looks very Doom-esque. But it's fun. I was
Dude,
enjoying what I was playing.
I've been seeing people say online that
Boomer
uh,
shooters?
old people are killing Modern Warfare 2. They're like,
What?
all these dads just sit in the corners and shit. And I'm like,
Hmm, okay.
well, sounds like a problem for you guys that
I
love like Adderall and jumping on walls.
I mean, to be fair, a lot of those guys were like probably in their 20s when the original Modern Warfare came out, and now they're just dads because it took this long for the new Call of Duty to come out.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, I like boots on the ground Call of Duty way more than I like
Arcadey Call of Duty.
jumping on walls and basically fucking Destiny Call of
We're
Duty. Like,
we're the complete opposite because I love that arcadey running the walls shit.
all my friends like it. I hate it. Just
Yeah.
I don't have like a want to do that shit. I don't know.
It just
But
does.
like at the same time, like I wholeheartedly, like if Advanced Warfare 2 came out tomorrow, I would just know not to buy it. You know.
Yeah.
But like the people that buy Call of Duty every year, was like Modern Warfare 2 comes out and they know it's boots on the ground and they're like, oh, this is dumb. It's not,
Yeah.
not the way I want it to be. And it's like, yeah, but not every Call of Duty is gonna be for you.
It's
And
weird.
like,
Oh,
you just gotta remember that.
yeah, I always find it weird that like people who are able to keep up with like the yearly Call of Duty thing, and like my uncle is one of them. Like we were just talking for a little bit and he just mentioned he's like, "Oh, he's like, did you get a PS5?" And I was like, "Yeah, I got a PS5." He's like, "Oh, I just got one not that long ago." He's like, "I'm playing the new Call of Duty." He's like, "It's really really good." Um he's like "Did you get it?" I was like, "Nah, I didn't get it. I just wasn't interested in it." He's like, "Oh, okay." But this man, the only fucking game he plays is Call of Duty.
Yeah.
It is wild.
But at the same time, so like when he doesn't play it like religiously, right?
No, not like anytime he can, basically.
So that's the difference. Is like
Yeah.
people that don't like play games
Yeah.
like directly after work and stuff like that. Um,
Yeah, he's like somewhat casual, but like I said, like if he comes home from work, like either watches a movie or plays Call of Duty. Um
yeah,
but it's one of those instances where it's like he plays video games, but he's very, very casual to the point where it's like I can't mention any other video games to him because they just sound
doesn't know
weird to
him.
him. Yeah. It just sounds weird to him.
Yeah,
So,
that's how one of my friends he only plays Destiny,
mm.
and like we've gotten him to buy a few Call of Duties here and there, but he like well I'll be like, yeah, I'm playing Animal Crossing. He's like, why the fuck would you want to be an animal?
Why would you
And
want to
I'm like,
cross shit?
he's just, or like I'll be like, I'm playing Diablo, and he's like, you're a fucking weirdo, and I'm like, you're playing Destiny, bro. Like, it's
But it's
literally the same thing.
like Call of Duty with guns in space, and it's like
It's just
okay,
so funny, dude.
all right. I think
It is bizarre. Like I have friends that like will
mm.
pretty much only play Madden every year, and I'm like, yeah, I guess like your PS5 is now your Madden machine.
Yeah, that's also the other thing is that like I don't really have that many other people to talk about like JRPGs. Like maybe like one or two friends that I have, but they don't go like crazy into like the JRPG shit like I do. Because I remember the first time I mentioned to a friend, it wasn't until recently until a friend of mine was like, "Oh yeah, I played Persona 4." And I was like, "Oh, really?" I'm like, "That's one of my favorite games." And he's like, "Yeah, it's really good." I'm like, "When did you play that?" "Oh, he's like, I played that like a couple months back." Uh, it's like because He was getting into his PS Vita. That's why. And he's
Oh
like,
hell yeah.
yeah, he's like, I played that on my PS Vita, and he's like, man, it's so good. And I'm like, did you play 5 yet? And he's like, nah, I haven't started it yet. But he's like, man, Persona 4 is really good. I'm like, you should try out the other games. It was like, he's like, what do you mean other games? He's like, I thought it was just Persona, 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. And I'm like, oh no, you should try out like the other Shin Megami Tensei games. And he's like, what?
Ooh.
Who? And I'm like, oh, just stick to Persona. Like, I don't want to complicate it for you. But yeah, it's like I don't really have that many people to be like, yo, like, here's this really niche shit. Let me recommend this to you, and they actually play it. Wesley kind of is like that, but like Wesley's a hard one to convince to play something or like recommend something. Because I remember I recommended it to him. I recommended him a bunch of things, and he just like was like, "Oh, that seems too weird," or this and that. But this man was like, just playing like other shit. Was just like, he was like, you would rather play this than the thing that I recommended. And he's like, yeah, because I like this thing. I'm like, okay, fine. Um, but yeah, it's just weird talking to a person that like only plays things on a casual level when I'm a fucking nerd that like likes weird niche shit, even if it's like bad niche shit. I just want to play it. That
Oh
that
yeah.
that also reminds me, like my cousin's boyfriend, like he likes video games, but like he's very casual with them. Some certain things that like he knows here and there, but like he's very casual. And we were just talking about God of War, because he's playing it and I beat it, and he just asked me my opinion about it. He's like, did you like it? And I was like, yeah, I think it's like one of the best things I played in 2022. I mean,
Oh yeah.
and then he asked me, he's like, was it your goatee? And I was like, nah, like my goatee has to go to Elden Ring. He's like, he's like, I haven't played that, but and then I mentioned to him like, oh yeah, like Sifu was also pretty good. And he's like, oh yeah, Sifu. He's like, yeah, I wanted to try that game out. I'm like, yeah, no, it's good. But I was like, if you really want something that's like worth your money, that you're gonna have a really good time with, depending if you can deal with dying over and over again, fucking Elden Ring is like one of the best things you can buy, because there's like so much. And I pretty much gave him the same thing I gave you. Is just like, go at the game at your own pace. Do not worry about fighting all the bosses or getting to the end of the game, because there's so much content in that game.
Yeah. I
Um,
actually had a friend quit Elden Ring because he couldn't beat the gargoyles, which I think is the first boss.
the gargoyles?
I don't know. He said brother gargoyles, what they were.
I know they're gargoyles, but I don't know which one. Yeah, I would have to think about that, but yeah, like I said, but that's the thing, is that like it's hard because I can understand that mindset as well, because you really want to tackle this one thing, but it feels impossible. And it's just like, it's like, yes, I can do other shit, but this one thing is going to be in the back of my mind, and it's going to fucking like annoy the fuck out of me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I
Well,
get that.
this is where like old gaming comes into play. Like if you played old Final Fantasies, like 3, 4,
Yeah.
you remember, all right, I need to go grind before I go back to this
Yeah.
thing because it's hard.
Yeah.
You know,
Diablo 2 for me right now. I haven't beaten Diablo
that's fair
2.
too.
Even though I am really digging the world and that shit, but yeah. And then like I think I just mentioned my cousin's boyfriend. I was like, oh yeah, like I'm really liking
Yeah.
Guilty Gear Strive. He's like, I'm not really huge into fighting games. I'm like, oh, I'm like, Guilty Gear is really fun. I'm like, he's like, yeah, he's like, but I enjoy one of those like other fighting games, the 3D ones like Soul Calibur and Tekken. And I'm like, I asked him like, have you seen gameplay for Guilty Gear Strive? He's like, no. He's like, I'll be interested, depending if whether or not I like it or not. And I'm like, oh, you want to go play some video games? So we just played some video games for a little bit. He's like, yeah, it seems like a cool game. That's also another thing that happened today. Was my family was over for leftovers, I mentioned before.
Nice.
And I was like, oh, we should have like a party game we should play. So I was thinking, I was like, okay, we can play the Jackbox party games or Mario Party. But then I thought to myself, I'm like, wait, do I have this one particular game? And I was like, what the fuck is that game called? And I remembered. Keep Talking and Nobody Explodes. Have you heard of it?
No, that sounds funny though.
This is a bomb defusal game.
Yes.
So I was like, I asked my cousins and my cousin's boyfriend. I was like, hey, have you guys heard of this game? And he's like, no. He's like, what's the premise? And I gave him the whole explanation. He's like, basically, two people have to look at a manual while one person is disarming a bomb, and you basically have to like coordinate verbally.
You might have just ruined me getting Danganronpa.
Why?
I might get that instead.
It's fun to have with more people. Why not get it together?
Well, because I want to play it with my brother.
Oh, okay, that's fair. I mean,
Do you have it?
It's on PlayStation. Yeah, it's on sale right now.
It's on PlayStation.
Yeah, it's on sale right now. You know how much for? $7.49.
Really?
Yes.
On PlayStation?
On PlayStation. Mm-hmm.
All right, cool. Never mind. I'm gonna get Danganronpa then, because I can easily get some PlayStation money. That's not a problem. Okay. But like, yeah, I want to get rid of this gift card. That's why I was like, for the Steam thing. So I was just like, I don't know what to buy, and I really do want Danganronpa. And really quick, Danganronpa. There's only 1, 2, and V3. V3 is a third game, right?
Yes. Those are
there's no other games.
There is Ultra Despair Girls, but that's really depending whether or not you want to go into the backstory of that game.
Is that part of Danganronpa series?
It's technically a side story.
So it wouldn't matter if I played it after all three of them.
I feel like Ultra Despair Girls doesn't really add anything. It adds a little bit more to like the wackiness of what's going on in that world, but overall, 1, 2, and 3 just connect to one another. That's it. All right, we're back. Sorry for the little technical mishap. God, I was so fucking worried. I thought the fucking app like corrupted the file, because that was an hour and like 40 minutes of us just talking. But I think we can basically sum up the last like 5 minutes of what was happening. Don't play Ultra Despair Girls. Also get Keep Talking and Nobody Explodes. Yeah. Overall, really, really fun party game. I just wanted to get that out there. And yeah, that's basically it for me. That's everything.
Same.
Good. All right. So talking of what happened in this new year, because nothing has technically happened in this new year. Let's talk about last year. Let's talk about some shit that we missed out on, that we're catching up on. So, where do you want to start?
I got it pulled up. Sorry.
Wow. You gotta whip it out.
I don't think that's the terminology you would use for.
No, what do you mean? You're not gonna whip it out
between different screens?
You're not gonna whip it out? Whip it out.
There's
bro.
a lot, isn't there?
Of whipping it out?
There's a pin. I forgot. It's all pin.
Wow, bro.
No, shut the fuck up. Oh, there's not that much. Okay.
Bro, just whip it.
You want to start at the bottom? Whip it good. With Henry?
Yes, start with Mr. Henry Cavill. Speaking of Warhammer, because I was talking about
I'm actually pretty excited for this.
Dawn of War and getting out of my non-RTS phase. So due to a bit of shakeup, which I guess I can also mention this other news thing. So basically James Gunn has become the creative head over at DC Studios for Warner Brothers. Which kind of leads into this other thing about Mr. Henry Cavill. Cavill. Cavill or Cavill?
Henry Cavill.
Henry Cavill. Is it Cavill or Cavill?
It's Cavill.
Is it? I've heard it pronounced Cavill.
Have you?
Yeah.
So the reason I'm laughing about Cavill is because you're making me think of Cruella de Vil.
Oh, I thought you were thinking about.
So like you're making me think of like evil Henry.
I thought you were thinking about Wolverine.
Whoa! No, I wasn't making fun of how you were saying it. Oh. It was just like sparking.
Okay.
102 dimensions.
Anyways, so Henry Cavill. Okay.
Yeah. Let's go.
So Henry Cavill is going to be the executive producer for the upcoming Warhammer 40,000 franchise on Amazon.
Oh, I didn't
Meaning,
know he was executive. Okay.
yes, so meaning he's gonna have the say so on how this series goes. So this is essentially, we don't know whether or not it's gonna be a movie or a TV show. Most likely a TV show. But it's interesting to see that Warhammer's getting a call because overall it is a very popular franchise. We just talked about how like Warhammer, I'm trying to get my RTS phase
Mhm.
into this year. But Warhammer is very big. I was also interested in the Dark Tide game, but it's still in early access, so I'm not really, you know, into it. Me and Wesley did play a good amount of Vermintide, but that's like pre 40K shit.
Uh,
That's pre 40K shit, so that's like other
yeah.
Warhammer shit. So Warhammer is big. It's expansive, of course. Um, but for this thing, yeah, Henry's gonna have the big word on everything. Which also connects to this whole thing about James Gunn being creative director for DC shit because he's basically taking shit into a new direction. Which kind of leads to this whole thing that was happening in the background about The Rock with Black Adam. So I spoilers basically for Black Adam if you care about Black Adam. Um the big thing was Superman shows up, but Henry as Superman in Black Adam. And, there's this whole thing about, oh, Superman is going to fight Black Adam because Black Adam is the most powerful anti-hero ever because Dwayne The Rock Johnson wants to be big, powerful guy. It's stupid. Um, so there was a thing that came out from James Gunn saying that they're working in a completely different direction as to what was set up before. Meaning that Henry is no longer Superman. Uh, Black Adam is not part of James Gunn's vision. And technically, according to James Gunn, the canonical Superman is the Christopher Reeve Superman.
In whose opinion?
Huh?
Who said that?
James Gunn.
Oh, okay, sorry. I thought you said Cavill.
No, not Cavill. Uh, no. So there's this whole thing. There was also another thing that happened where I think the Twitter account for Black Adam or the Twitter account for Warner Brothers was, I think The Rock unfollowed them, so there's that because of the whole situation that's going on with um Black Adam because they were basically, The Rock was really hoping that this was going to be like the big breakout superhero movie for him, and it just didn't amount to anything, especially at the fact that the whole DC thing is going in a completely different direction due to James Gunn. And yeah,
Yeah, he
and
seems like super hurt about it too, which is like
yeah.
nobody in DC ever really felt like really good characters. The Rock also felt gimmicky as that character, which, like, don't
Oh
get me
my
wrong,
god.
like
They were
he
hyping. Uh-huh.
he didn't look bad as the guy.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think he did, but again, like the way The Rock acts is very gimmicky in my opinion. The
Yes.
last good movie I think he did was uh The Run or something.
The Rundown?
The Rundown. I
Yes.
thought that was a great movie, but
Yeah.
that's all I ever think about when I think of a good movie with him.
Yeah, I feel the same way about The Rock. Is just like there hasn't been really anything else that I can say that, man, this guy is one of the best actors because he falls into that category of actor who will be an action movie who doesn't have
Yes.
any other range besides either stoic funny guy or big muscly guy, and that's it. Um I don't know, like this is also the problem with Black Adam was that like they were really hyping that movie up. I remember the trailers for it like were fucking everywhere. They were fucking everywhere for Black Adam, and it was like these quotes from, I guess, quote unquote critics of being like, Black Adam is the best movie of the fucking centuries. Oh my god, I'm fucking jerking it over here watching Black Adam, and it's like, what the fuck is happening? And then lo and behold, when people actually saw it, people were like, it was kind of meh. Like it was a very mid movie. But like I said, The Rock really wanted this to be like I guess a franchise for him to be like, yo, we're making Black Adam 2. He's gonna be fighting Superman. Because that was actually one of the things that I think was a quote, was that the executives over at Warner Brothers were like, didn't want to bring Henry back for Superman, but The Rock was like, no, my character needs to like have a stare down with Superman because look at this awesome brawlic power of fucking bros. And then yeah, they got fucking Henry back, and then this whole shit of like the movie not meeting expectations, and then The Rock talking about how like the movie was a smash hit even though it wasn't, and yeah, it just didn't go anywhere. Uh, but I don't know, man. Like the Rock is a character, I guess you can say. Um, but
It's true.
yeah, he is a character. But anyways, back to the Warhammer thing. But this also kind of leads into the whole thing with, I feel kind of happy for Henry that this is a thing that he can actually have a say in. Because obviously him being a big fucking nerd, he loves the Warhammer series as well. Because this kind of leads into the whole thing with The Witcher, where he had no way of getting his thoughts across, because there was also talks about how the writing team, well, rumors that the writing team didn't like interacting with Henry because of the fact that the direction the writing team was going with The Witcher, Henry had huge problems with. And that was also a lot of the speculation, but like also confirmed by Henry, was that during an interview with him and Stephen Colbert is like, "Oh, do you plan on staying with the series for as long as it goes?" And he's like, "Yeah, as long as they keep to the source material." And that's where a lot of people were like, they didn't keep to the source material, so that's why he left.
Hmm.
So with this, he has more of a say with it, and I feel like, I would imagine that he has more of an understanding for the world of Warhammer and will lead it into a direction that he feels like would appeal to a lot of people, or appeal mostly to fans, I guess.
I
Um,
gotta be real. Him being willing to walk away from something because they're not doing it properly feels good.
yeah, I mean, obviously, if it's a franchise that you
Cause
have respect for, or something that like
well,
for,
it's one, having that respect, and two, willing not to ruin it
so here's
and your own reputation. Right?
exactly, there's that. For example, if like you, big Diablo man, were in charge of a Diablo
Yeah,
TV
well,
series.
I'd ruin it. I'd run it straight into the fucking ground.
But let's say you still have the love for Diablo, okay?
Yeah.
And like you were part of the creative team.
Yeah.
And so, and like, but the people on top of you were saying, let's make Tyrael the real bad guy. Let's make him Diablo. And you were like, what? What the fuck? What does that mean? People wouldn't be
Well,
expecting a twist of Tyrael uh becoming Diablo, unless that's a part of lore that I didn't get to at some point.
you'd have
But
to pay me a lot to get it done.
exactly. So that's what I'm saying.
I'd have to be paying a stupid. I'd have to be Bezos at the end of this.
So that to be Bezos. But that's also the issue, is that like, the source material, you
Hmm.
love that thing so much, and then here come these people that think that they're above it and think that, oh, my idea is better, so let me work in some dumb bullshit into it. And that's what's happening. What I keep hearing about The Witcher in like the second season is that like, I hear that the second season is kind of like really meh a lot to a lot of Witcher fans, while the first season was good because that they kept with the source material.
Yeah.
And I don't know how the fuck season 3 is gonna go, let alone season 4 with fucking Liam Hemsworth as Geralt. But
Yeah, I won't be watching for very like. Maybe that sounds like a shitty-ish thing to
mhm.
say, but like I don't know.
That's
I'm not a
uh-huh.
big fan of the Hemsworths, anyways.
Mhm.
And I don't see, and then maybe it'll be good, right? But at the same time, like if you change Geralt to a different person, you're physically gonna fucking see that it's a different person.
So that's the thing, is that's why a lot of people were being like, well, online, a lot of people on Twitter specifically were like, when Henry came out with that statement saying all this shit, people were like, yeah, I'm not gonna watch the show. Henry made that show. Like, Henry was really good as Geralt.
Hmm.
And then just to have him gone is just like, what's the point of watching it? Like, I enjoyed it because of him. And yeah, I don't know, man. Like that whole situation is just
Feels
that's
bad.
it's a feel bad situation, but that's due to Netflix. That's due to Netflix and their creative writing team because they
Right,
just
right.
decided that no, this is not the direction we want to go in. Even though you have the fucking source material there, why would you fuck it up? That's what I don't get. It's like you have everything there, you're just choosing to fuck it up.
I don't know. People feel like they're doing something more efficiently, or like you said, like maybe they think like, oh, sneaky, sneaky. Nobody's gonna think this is a.
Yeah.
But the truth is like, as much as like people think everyone wants a fresh new thing,
Hmm.
like that's true. But like The Witcher being made into a TV show itself is a fresh new thing. Instead of changing the story up, there's no reason to, because people, yeah, we might have played the games, but like we still want the same fucking story. We want to see it in this different media
Yeah, to see it truly
or
visually.
medium, whatever.
Yeah, to see it visually. But that's also the other thing is that like some people can go into different directions with certain things and they work, and then some people go into other directions where it just doesn't work. And I feel like that was the case for Henry, where he was this I'm projecting into this person that I don't know, but my sense is that like he loves this series so much that it's just like I think it just like wasn't worth it at the end, or worth it mid production, to be like, I'm gonna keep staying with something that I don't enjoy because I know the source material, I know this shit, but I guess I would assume by heart, and then just to have it thrown in my face to be like, you gotta act, you gotta say these lines that don't make sense for this character, or like don't make sense for this plot line, and it's just like, no, like I don't want to do that. Um, but
Affleck.
the other example of that, of like going into a different direction of its source material, was The Boys. Amazon's The Boys is
Mm.
completely different from its fucking comic book series, or its graphic novel series. Because I've read a little bit of the graphic novel, and the graphic novel is super trashy, and I feel like it depends on who you ask. If you really love The Boys comic, then people would be upset of the show because it goes in such a completely different direction. But people who don't really know the comic enjoy the show because of just like some of the fucked up things that happen, but it's still, you know, kind of at least decent TV. Um yeah, it's a weird one where it's like sometimes it pans out, but then sometimes it doesn't. But back to this whole thing about Henry, is just like, you know, power to him, I guess, for creating this uh Warhammer series. Um he's probably going to be in it. He's going to be acting in it. But yeah, it's like if he wants to go buy the source material, which fucking, that's also the other thing, is that Warhammer's lore is so expansive. That's the biggest thing about Warhammer, and it's just like I feel like he wouldn't want to fuck that up. It's this whole conversation is just like I feel a particular thing,
Yeah, yeah.
but
It's
that
1,000% that way.
but yeah, I think, but there's also, you have these little instances of like him leaving Netflix, him also not being Superman anymore, so it's just like now it's kind of his time to shine, to actually have a word in things, especially in source material things. Because I think that was also another thing, was Henry Cavill wanted to be the happy Superman from the original comics. But unfortunately, he got stuck into the Snyderverse. So that Superman is more grim, more darker, more this and more that, in which I don't I think that went away from his vision, but contractually I think he had to just stay.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah.
Honestly, man, like,
Mhm.
he made good money off of it and all that stuff. I know, like, he probably would have gotten away from it if he could have, but still, like, at least he, like, wrote it out and just did what he had to do, you know?
Yeah. I mean, he did his job. That's what it is.
I mean,
Overall.
Snyderverse is fucking ass, bro. Like my brother, I don't know why he loves it. Like he's like, it wasn't bad, it was good, and I'm just like, it's cool. Like it's okay that it's bad.
The
Like
Justice League Snyder cut is the best.
it's not. It's so bad. And like anyone that says it's not bad is fucking what's it called? Coping, man. Because like
Mm-hmm. Big cope.
for superhero movies, like what's it called has been Marvel has been on top of their shit. Like, and if you fucking think that's not true, then I don't know what to tell you. Like,
Well, I'm in the mindset of like Marvel. Marvel is going because they can do big blockbuster stuff, and it can be the
so can
thing,
DC.
huh?
So can DC.
But this is the problem: is that for some reason DC just can't do what Marvel is doing.
What they need is somebody. It's the writers, bro.
Yes, that's
Like,
exactly the
they
point.
need somebody that knows how to fucking look at the material, you know,
Yeah, I mean
Henry, and be able
that's
to produce what the fuck that is on screen.
so
Like, it's
yeah. But to be fair, like now they have James Gunn behind it, and James
yeah,
Gunn is
I think James Gunn will do fine.
yeah, that's what I'm saying is that like James Gunn will be perfectly fine in that whole setting. Luckily for him, fucking volume 3 of Guardians of the Galaxy is finally coming out because that was a big thing because of that whole thing that happened of him being, I guess, canceled.
An asshole. Yeah.
Yeah, an asshole canceled. Um was the reason why Guardians of the Galaxy Part Volume 3 wasn't a thing that was in production because of the whole fallout with Disney, but then
I didn't know that's why it took so long. Okay.
that was the reason. And then like his success for like some of the DC stuff made Disney realize, oh shit, like we gotta bring him back. So, you know,
I mean, yep.
yeah, because that's the thing is that like the Suicide Squad is very fun. It's a very good movie. Peacemaker was a very fun show. And that I think that's also the thing that James Gunn is able to do with those particular series is take the absurdity of that hero world and make it serious. In some respects, because like even Suicide Squad had those moments where it's just like, wait, what are we talking about? An alien, this and that, and it's like, no, like it's still goofy, but like it's grounded in its own world essentially.
Right, and that's how the Marvel movies are for me, at least. Like, it's a show or movie,
Mhm.
and then they, of course, add a bunch of goofy shit to it,
Mhm.
and then it's still Iron Man at the end of the day. It's still Hulk. It's still this. It's still that.
It's still Spoder, man. Um, I don't know. Like I've given you my guff already about Marvel stuff, where it's like I feel like they shouldn't have dove right into the next phase right after Endgame. I feel like they should have waited a bit.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think
Um,
that's too congested right now.
exactly. That's the problem because I completely forgot that Wakanda Forever is the next thing, or like was the thing that came out recently, and then like the next thing after this is like what, like Ant-Man, Quantumania.
Yeah.
But the reason why I feel so congested as well is because they expanded into the fucking TV show shit. And it's just like, if you have no context of the TV show shit, then you wouldn't be getting any context to any of the characters. Because you have the new bad guy, Kang, and then you had the fucking WandaVision shit that happened. And if you didn't watch WandaVision, fucking Doctor Strange 2 doesn't make sense as to why Wanda is doing what she's doing.
I haven't seen Doctor Strange 2 yet, so I don't know.
I saw it because I like Sam Raimi, but like
Yeah, yeah.
it's not his
I
best
also like
Raimi
how
movie.
they're willing to let Sam Raimi come back on for more spoilers.
Yeah, but I don't know. Doctor Strange 2 was not the best multiverse movie for me. You know what was the best multiverse movie?
No.
Everything Everywhere All at Once.
I still need to watch that. Yep.
That was the best multiverse movie. It's like
Isn't that on Amazon, I think?
I don't know.
On something. Or it was on something. I need to watch it.
Anyways, but yeah, it's just like everything this is I feel like the Marvel Cinematic Universe is becoming it's becoming difficult it's becoming overwhelming to the point where like I'm starting to feel like I'm starting to have the same feelings as I have with current comic books, because of the fact that like you can't just jump into one comic book and call it a day. If you want more context, because I'm a person that wants more context, it's like you got to go back to issue whatever the fuck, or
Marty, we've got to go back.
or for example, or like here's this little thing that Spider-Man talks about, but if you want the full context, go to uh this other Venom comic issue, whatever the fuck, to get this context as to like what happened in this issue of Spider-Man. So it's like
I
this is
mean, you know what they're doing. They want you to buy shit, bro. Like
exactly.
that's
I know they're business. They're business.
yeah.
They know how to tickle people with the nostalgia berries and
Tickle, tickle.
the member
Come
berries.
here.
Yeah, and be like, hey, like fucking Spider-Man No Way Home was like the biggest fucking member berries.
Yeah, that's fair.
It was the biggest member berries because they know how to play fucking nostalgia shit. That
Yeah.
because when I was watching that movie, I legitimately had moment of nostalgia being like, yo, I remember when the first fucking Spider-Man came out. And I was like, I really like those movies. Those movies are dumb, but I really enjoyed those movies because they were of the time I was in.
I remember the first Spider-Man that fucked. That was
Yeah.
pretty cool.
Yeah, Spider-Man was like, I'm gonna fuck. And it's like, yo, that's
Fight
crazy.
slip.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy, Spider-Man.
That's crazy, Tobey Maguire. You're not allowed to do that on film.
But
Well, not this film.
yeah, but but that's the issue is that like I think adding to the congestion of Marvel shit is just like they start to feel a little samey. And that's something that I didn't want happening for these movies. It's just like they kind of feel a little samey, you know.
Like Sammy, or
Same e.
like it sounds like it's the same. Gotcha.
Sammy.
Yeah,
like a Sammy witch. Hmm.
like a Sam witch. Got it.
Uh
Like a witch, like a Scarlet Witch. Got it. Got it.
yeah. So you know, I had high hopes for Multiverse of Madness, the Doctor Strange movie, because of the fact that it was being directed by Sam Raimi, you know, but it was still samey. uh because of
Yeah, I mean they have a what's it called? A formula. They're not gonna like break from it.
exactly, but that's also the issue is that a lot of people start to see that like, yo, you're doing the exact same shit, but still people will go see it. And we're in
Call of Duty.
yeah, we're in a perpetual loop of something that we're so accustomed to. We complain about it, but we just continue to view the next thing or get the next thing. It's always a byproduct, consume product, and then get excited for next product.
Uh-huh.
That's all it is. That's a red letter media thing. Just want to throw it out there. But it that's the truth of like any media in particular, anything pop culture relevant is just like you're gonna watch it or you're gonna experience it at some point. You can complain about it before and after, but for a fact you're going to go see the other thing. Star Wars was a perfect example of that, where I was like, okay, I really love the world of Star Wars. I love the world of Star Wars. But the fucking last two movies and like the Disney shit, besides The Mandalorian, even though I didn't like Mandalorian season 2, I just don't care about Star Wars anymore. Like I just don't anymore.
Mhm.
So, but there are people who like love the shit out of Star Wars.
I love Mando.
Yeah, Mando is good. But there are people who are like, I love Rey. I love it when Rey was like, I'm a Skywalker. And it's like, I don't
Yeah,
care.
see, I went into Star Wars, and I don't think I love it maybe as much as you do.
Mm.
But I went into Star Wars being like, yeah, I like magic and lightsabers flying around. So like,
I
I
look.
enjoyed those movies that they made.
Uh huh.
Um,
My cat is like
because
very
I'm
scared.
not thinking of it more on a deeper level. I'm just kind of like, yeah, the magic guys are back, you know.
Magic
And
Wizard,
then
Jesuses are back.
yeah, I'm trying to think the other thing that does that. Oh, Lord of the Rings. Like, new Lord of the Rings weren't fantastic, but
You mean the Hobbit prequels?
Yeah.
Yeah, they weren't that great.
Well, again, like Lord of the Rings world, right? So I was just like, like, you know, again, like just went in there being like, ring boys are gonna do ring things.
Ringing all the time.
Yeah, pretty much. They're trying
Sorry.
to ring the bell, you know?
Hold on, my cat is just like, God.
Being a cat. Show cat.
No, she's too chunk. Okay, wait, hold on. I will show cat.
Did you hear that, cat? He called you chunk.
Give me a chunk. Chunk.
Baby.
Look at this fur baby. So yeah, it's just like I Star Wars has just like died for me.
Yeah.
But then there's, yeah, like you mentioned, Lord of the Rings, the fucking Amazon show.
Was it good?
No,
Really?
because it breaks a lot of source material.
Yeah, I don't know enough about Lord of the Rings.
I don't know enough about the books, but that's also the issue, is that like Amazon couldn't do anything because they only bought the fucking what was it? The oh my god. Shit. The appendices. That's what they bought. The appendices for the Lord of the Rings. And that's basically nothing. It's not the Silmarillion. It's not anything like any other books attaching it to Lord of the Rings. It's just the appendices of the Lord of the Rings. So they're going in weird creative directions, quote unquote creative, for whatever the fuck they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, no, and I've been seeing that like that show has gotten like really bad reviews because people thought that like people like somewhat liked the first episode, but then it just started to go into like far from the fucking what is it called? Far from the source material, where everybody was just like, what the fuck is happening? That's another case of source material being thrown out the window. I don't know. All I know is all I know is that I love the first I love the Lord of the Rings trilogy. I love the first movie, the second movie, and the third movie. Those are my favorite movies. I love to watch them. If they're on anything, I just watch them.
The first three?
Yeah.
Absolutely not.
Oh, big hate.
I do. I can't stand them whispering, bro. Why do they whisper in every fucking situation?
They don't whisper. What are you talking about?
Yes, they do.
No.
We've got to go to the bridge, and then we got to run, and then we do. Shut the
No,
fuck up.
they don't
Talk like a
say
normal
it.
person.
They talk like normal
Nope,
people.
nope.
Viggo Mortensen isn't coming up to Frodo and be like, "Hey, little mama, let me whisper in your ear."
Exactly what he does. He's like, you know what? Yin Yang Twin used to be huge.
He used to be huge in the Shire. All right. No, man. What are you talking about? You gotta rewatch those movies.
Nope. I've watched them so many times in my life because people are like, you know what we should do? And I'm like, all right. And then I watch it and remember how much I hate it.
I fucking love Lord of the Rings, bitch.
Ow. I think the actors, and I think the first time I saw it when I was a kid, great movie. Like, anything after that just ruins it for me. Watching it again and again, being older, knowing that shit is shit.
Hobbits are not real.
Oh no, I'm not knowing that they're not real, but like just knowing that like people are allowed to write garbage and then act like garbage feels bad.
What are you doing? Sorry, my cat is trying to get into like the back of my TV. What are you doing? No, don't go back there. Hold on.
Cats being cats.
I gotta kick you out.
Wow, evicted.
Yeah, I gotta evict this cat. She's too damn cute.
Oh yeah, I remember this.
Okay.
Ready to move on?
Okay, ready to move on. Sorry, cat was just like there's
you're good.
a little spot that I have like just wires filled in, and she's just trying to fit in. And I'm like, what are you
like,
doing?
I fit here?
And I was like, no, you don't fit there. Ugh. But yeah, source material. stick to your source material. Moving on. What else do you want to talk about?
Well, we talked about what's his name already being the chair of James Gunn. We already talked about James Gunn.
Yeah.
So, the next one would be. Am I reading this right? Oh, this one. Fortnite.
Okay, so did you read this?
Yeah, this is the one where they are getting in trouble for purchases.
Well, they're getting in trouble for what the FTC is calling dark patterns.
Oh, okay. I had read something else that it was just a gist of like, uh, kids bought things by accident, and they said the button placement was bad
Okay,
for how
so
they were buying it.
let me give the TLDR. All right,
Yeah,
so
good.
the dark patterns. So basically, the FTC is suing Epic for 27 Jesus for 275 million.
Mhm.
And they also want them to refund uh 245 million. So basically, the FTC has come out and said that Epic has violated Children Online Privacy Protection Act, the COPA Act, or COPA, excuse me, uh, in which it has duped the children due to purchases that that were accidental by kids.
Mhm.
On top of that, them also putting on voice chat without giving an option to shut it off, because by default, on Fortnite originally, uh, th- the voice chat was set to on. So children were being harassed by older people,
Mhm.
and that led to, certain events where parents had to talk to their kids about bullying, essentially.
Right.
Because sometimes people say really really awful shit online. That's how it works. um so let's see. Traumatizing, yep. So there's that. That's where Fortnite Epic is in trouble with Copa. Now the next thing, the dark pattern shit, is another complaint that the FTC has filed uh for tricking players, for making purchases that they did not confirm. Uh
Mhm.
so this was another big thing that a lot of people forgot about, that reminded me that this shit happened, was when the Epic Store finally was released. It was bad. It is still bad. But it was so bad that, example here, was that people were buying shit without even like noticing that their PC was buying shit on the Epic Store. For example, people would just put their computer on sleep mode and awaken their computer only for them to make a purchase on the Epic Store out of nowhere.
I never even heard of this.
This was something that was happening. A perfect example of this was I remember somebody putting on a video of this on Twitter. This account by Shadow Ultima. He's a video editor for some YouTube people. But he had a video of him just on the Epic Store. I think he was playing a game, and then on his second screen, he sees that the Epic Store was just making a transaction out of nowhere while he was using his controller. So there was a bunch of things happening where just like just playing a game would somehow just make the Epic Store be like, "Oh, you want to make a purchase of something? Okay, you made a purchase already." And it's just like, I didn't even press anything.
Sounds like really bad code.
It was really bad, to the extent of a lot of employees, according to the FTC's like internal, like not internal, but their according to their account, that a lot of employees made these complaints to Epic, to the higher ups, and let them know that, hey, yo, this shit is bad. It's just making people purchase things that they have no control over, and which Epic was like, they'll work it out. So then this leads into another huge issue where if you try to block a okay, let's say that you made a purchase to Epic and you realize that it was an accidental purchase, and you tell Epic that hey, this was an accidental purchase, I need you to cancel it. Epic would essentially give you a one-time refund, but after that, if you were to make another unauthorized purchase and make another call again, they would essentially like deactivate your account for the Epic store. And that led to a lot of people to be like, what the fuck? Like, that's so fucked up. But I remember that Sony and Xbox also have similar things like that to avoid cancellation on orders, specifically digitally, because they don't want to deal with that shit. But this is also another thing of the FTC's report, is that this is another anti-consumer thing that they're bringing up, of the fact that like Epic is giving you no choice when it comes to making purchases. It's either refund the thing but get your account blocked, or just accept it and that's it. You only have the two choices. Both are fucked. So then there are other accounts, well, there are other reports from this dark pattern shit where Epic was also oh god, what was it? They were also going through people's accounts and like sharing data and things like that, stuff that people that didn't agree upon. You know, there's it kind of adds back to the whole thing with the children protection rule, where their personal data was also being taken by Epic, in which parents had to call Epic and was like, that you cannot have our children's data. So Epic was like, sorry, but you know, okay, we'll try
I'm
to.
so sorry.
So sorry, we can't, but I mean, we'll try next time. We'll try to work harder. There's a lot of things that just like show that, like, according to the FTC report, that like Epic knew about all these things that they were doing, but they were just choosing to be ignorant to it. So yeah, it is crazy. I really recommend this report. This is on the FTC website. It is just crazy from the accounts of the Epic things, but like I was saying, is that like this brought up a whole thing that I remembered that was happening on Twitter when the Epic Store finally came out on PC, was that people were experiencing just transactions just happening out of nowhere because the Epic Store was so bad when it came out. Yeah, just not looking good for Epic, but I feel like at the end of the day, Epic has so much money that it's just like
They'll be fine.
They'll be fine. There's also a thing that
Fortnite money they've had is they'll be fine.
They'll be fine. They'll probably put the FTC skin in Fortnite, you know, after this.
Down for it.
Yeah,
I'll buy it.
Another thing that I saw in like one of the reports is like, you remember that like old mall that they bought, like that space?
No.
So Epic bought like a lot somewhere to be like a studio for them, but it's all gated, like a gated community, and like the project is still going on, but nobody has heard a word about it. It's just very bizarre. But that's a little thing I just wanted to bring up. Speaking
Weird.
Yeah, it's very, very weird.
Sounds like maybe they just never wanted to use it and they just like gave up on it.
Fuck it. They just said fuck it. But you know who else said fuck it? John Carmack. John Carmack has ended his decade in VR, and is leaving Meta.
Yeah, I saw this.
So another TLDR is that John Carmack was just unhappy in the direction that Meta was going in when it came to VR. So he's like, I'm out, I'm done, and not looking back on this, gonna move forward. So John Carmack joined Meta in 2013. So wow, 10 years almost 10 years. So yep, good for
Show me the Carmacks.
I hope John Carmack makes the Carmacks and it plays Doom in VR. I don't know. Anyways, Good for John. And speaking of machinery, Nier Automata TV anime is premiering January
Yes.
7th. So get ready for big
Is it
asses on anime.
so? Is this brand new or is this something Japanese that was already out?
No, this is something brand new.
Okay.
So it's gonna have a simul dub as well. So if you want to watch it dub, that'd be cool. But yeah, get ready for more hentai.
Yeah, like you're not wrong, but straight up was just like get ready.
Yo, when 2B was shown, all right, even at the beginning of Nier Automata, when 2B was
no
shown,
shit. People immediately. It's the same thing as any other anime. Like
yeah,
immediately, people are just like, I can draw that.
or anything Japanese, but let alone fucking when you the fucking one of the costumes for 2B is her and her ass. It's like, yo, why'd they have to give her such a defined ass? Like that doesn't make sense.
You know why? You know exactly why.
Even Yoko Taro came out and was like, I just like hot women. That's it. Nothing complicated.
The man spoke of hot.
He spoke the truth,
and it was so.
He spoke the true. And speaking of FTC shit as well, Microsoft is hidden back.
Oh yeah.
Because FTC don't want Microsoft and Activision to combine together to create Microvision. That'd be a pretty good name.
That's a pretty good fucking name.
Yeah, Microvision. But basically, this whole report from VGC talks about how like Microsoft is in the works to ensure that anything specifically fucking Call of Duty. This is how fucking creatively bankrupt everything is, because everything revolves around fucking Call of Duty. That Call of Duty is not going to be console exclusive. That that they're going to try to work out deals with other companies to ensure that it will come on to their platforms, but they have to agree to their terms. Like I said, this is a whole fucking problem where just everything Call of Duty is.
They gave them 10-year contracts.
Yes, but Sony was the one that denied it.
No.
Yes.
But that's their problem.
That's their problem. But like I'm saying is like this is becoming a whole big issue because the FTC is just like, Call of Duty's so big. It's so big.
Yeah.
It's so
stupid because like, yes, Call of Duty is big, but like that's one IP, dude.
Like this is like
it's not hard to make another game that's competitive against Call of Duty.
That's why I'm like, wow, like anything creative is so fucking bankrupt.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I agree. Yeah.
It's like, god damn, man. But yeah, this is a whole thing of Microsoft just talking about how like this is not anti fuck is it called?
It's funny though, because like years ago, if we were having the same discussion about a PS2 and an Xbox, we would just be like, all right, man, like I'll go get the Xbox so we can play together. Like that's what we would do. You know, there would be no discussion of like, is this wrong? Is this viable? Blah 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 blah. Like they would just another company would own the game. That's how it would be.
Yeah.
Now it's worth like $1 billion, so everyone's like, "Oh man, no! Everyone needs a piece."
It's so stupid. Like,
yep.
I don't know, man. Like we just gotten to a point where like there was a bit of hope while console exclusive games were coming to other platforms. You know, I was living in this honeymoon era of like PlayStation games coming to PC or PC games coming. Well, PC games have always come to like other consoles, but like console exclusives going on PC specifically, or like Persona that was like fucking a JRPG series solely exclusive to PlayStation finally arriving to fucking Xbox. Yakuza was the biggest one where it's like you played this shit on PlayStation, now it's on Xbox. And it's like, yes, this is the thing that I have been hoping for years, is that like the freedom to play whatever the fuck you want on whatever the fuck you want with none of this exclusive shit. You know, to be fair, exclusives have their own place to ensure that, okay, I'm going to choose this console because there's a series that I'm really, really, I love that's only exclusive to this, and this is the reason why I'm going to buy this console. Of course, that is still going to exist forever. But It's going to be exclusive for like a year or two. Final Fantasy 16 is PlayStation 5 exclusive for like a year, and then it's coming out to PC afterwards. What was it? I'm trying to think. I forget. Oh my god, I forget. But yeah, anyways, like I was living in that honeymoon phase, but now we've gotten to the point where this fucking shit for one fucking game is causing such a huge problem. It's ridiculous. It is fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, it's pretty dumb.
I don't know, man. Like I hope the new Call of Duty is good. I hope you can run on walls.
Stop.
It's so stupid. This whole thing that's going on is just beyond the most stupidest thing. But I think overall it's big corporation saying no. Essentially, other big corporation is hogging the ball. Mom, aka FTC, go. He has the ball. He's hogging the ball. It's stupid.
Yeah.
No, here. Mom, it's Mom. Hey, Mom says it's my turn to play with the Xbox. That's essentially what's happening.
Yeah.
It's so dumb. Anyway, speaking of dumb bullshit, the Death Stranding movie is happening. But
no big actors, baby.
Kojima himself has stated that he doesn't want to make this a big action movie, a big blockbuster. He wants to make this
He wants it to be art house.
He wants to be arty as fuck. This dumb
He said
game.
lots of flowers and more boxes than the game had.
He wants people from off the street to play the baby. That's what he wants. Art house. I don't know. Death Stranding is stupid.
What's your name?
Enough.
I don't even want to know your name. You're acting tonight.
You're a baby. You're a baby. Think you're a baby. You're a fetus. And it's just like, okay.
50-year-old man. Wah.
Wah. And it's like, oh, Kojima, you're so arty. But Death Stranding, Kojima's writing is fucking stupid. I love Kojima, but his writing is fucking dumb. I cannot believe that they're planning on doing a movie based on this world. If it expands the world, okay, cool. That's what I was kind of hoping with the Last of Us TV show, that it would have expanded the world of The Last of Us. Unfortunately, in my point of view, it's just doing Joel and Ellie's story again. Because people people be like, I love Joel and Ellie so much. I love her. Oh, Troy Baker, I love you. I love you so much. And I'm just like, can we just... Joel's dead.
Thanks, Mr. Baker.
Joel's dead. Spoiler alert for The Last of Us. A fucking golf club is Joel's end.
Wow.
Fuck out of here. Yeah, you've been ruined. You know who else has been ruined? Joel's face from that golf club.
Wow. Disappointed.
Yeah. Fuck The Last of Us. Anyways, The Last of Us PC will also be coming out. That's something we forgot to talk about last podcast. Is during the Game Awards they announced the PC version of The Last of Us and Returnal.
But is that really news?
Yeah, I mean those PlayStation exclusives are coming out. The Returnal is coming to PC, so get excited. I'm probably going to be buying The Last of Us on PC just to play it on the PCs. But fuck The Last of Us. Anyways, back to this whole thing with Kojima. But yeah, like I said, if they expand the world of Death Stranding with a completely different cast of people, I'm fine with that. But the problem is Kojima's writing. Kojima's writing is terrible. It's so stupid. It is so dumb. I love the fact that people are like, he's such a genius, but he's a genius because of the games that he makes, not the writing. That's why he's a genius. When it comes to game design, he is a genius. As a writer, he is awful. But that it depends who you ask, because Metal Gear is also stupid. It is a stupid anime ass fucking plot about super soldiers. But people love it. I love Metal Gear. Death Stranding is stupid. The only line I could think about is when Norman Reedus and his sister character are on a beach, and he's all beat up after fighting Troy Baker, and she's like, "You're like my Mario, and I'm like Princess Beach," and they're running on a beach.
Hilarious.
Yep. And stupid. But anyways, so good luck to Kojima. But speaking of PC shit that that is probably not, well, it's not in development, confirmed by the creator. Gran Turismo 7 you know, is not planned for PC. But the real question is, who would want Gran Turismo 7 on PC after all the fucking problem it has currently on PS5 and PS4, where you have to be logged in online all the time, and if you're not logged in online, you can't play the game. Oh, and microtransactions, where it's egregious on there. But I'm not a racing sim guy, so can't say.
Yeah, it's a weird thing with this whole like games always feeling the need to be integrated with online support. Maybe not the
Oh,
word support, but like
it has to be online.
constant. Huh?
It has to be online specifically.
Right. But like that's what I'm saying is like the need to be online all the time is like a weird thing that we've started to do with video games for everything, like every video game.
Yeah, because
It's like
the problem is games as a service. That's the issue.
right.
That's the
Every
biggest
game
one.
is a game as a service at this point.
Yes, but I think the one that comes to mind that was really bad was Hitman. The new Hitman games, where
Right.
those are online only. And if you want like leaderboard shit, you have to be online. And if let's say you get disconnected, because I've seen this before, if you get disconnected from Hitman, you can lose your progress. Even if you're in the middle of a level, you can lose your progress. That's where it gets bad. But this was long coming when fucking, you remember when the PS3, when like new games were coming out from like different studios, and like when you booted up the game, when you can't even get to the fucking main menu, the game asks you, "Hey, do you want to sign up for an Ubisoft account?" No, I want to play the game. Are you sure you don't want to sign up for an Ubisoft account? Get me the fuck out of here. Stop it. Another thing like that is Doom Eternal. You can't log into Doom Eternal unless you have a Bethesda account. Yeah, this games as a service shit is just bad.
What?
Yes, that's a real thing. I don't know if they fixed that, but when Doom Eternal came out, you could not play the game unless you had a Bethesda account, because the game starts up and literally says, "Sign up for a Bethesda account." If you say no, game just kicks you out. It was wild. Yeah. So, anyways, Gran Turismo 7, if you want a PC, sure, go ahead. I don't care.
Well, maybe, right?
Yeah, maybe. I mean, in this world, like I said, Last of Us coming on a PC, Returnal's coming on a PC, so possibly a chance Gran Turismo comes out on a PC, but currently, right now, it's not being developed. So good luck to Gran Turismo and all their microtransactions. So yeah, that is the big stuff that we missed from the weeks before. Obviously the biggest one being the epic shit of them being sued. Another report that I saw was fuck it, what is his name? The creator of Balan Wonderworld is still in more trouble. So there's that. Yeah, they haven't filed the charges yet, but like it's looking pretty bad for him because the amount of evidence that they found.
I mean, if he did it once, it wouldn't surprise me if he did it again.
I mean, yeah, I mean, people were like, "Oh, he's doing this thing for a Dragon Age thing." Okay, wait, he did it the exact same thing for Final Fantasy VII, First Soldier. That's a little sus. They're probably gonna find something else. Yeah, most likely.
Yeah.
Wait, he had stocks in Balan Wonderworld or Wonderland, what the fuck it's called. Yeah. Well, that's it for the news. We talked about our weeks. Bye. Uh,
Jesus.
go play Danganronpa.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, I'm gonna go play Remnant from the Ashes. But yeah.
What? Hold on, I'll load on real quick, man.
Oh wait, what time is it? Fuck, it's 2 in the
I'm
morning.
just joking.
Okay, yeah, it's 2 in the morning because like, can't I can't keep sleeping so late, dude. I've been getting up at like fucking like 2 in the afternoon because I keep going to sleep around like fucking 7 in the morning.
Yeah, I've definitely had like a bad sleep schedule since my brothers were here.
Yeah, I mean this whole week is just like I haven't had work this week, but this coming week should be some work. But anyways, bad sleeping schedule. But anyways, yeah, I'm probably gonna be going back on stream. Obviously the start of the new year, got to play something new. What I'm gonna be playing is the bigger question, because of the shit that I bought on Steam. But there's one game in particular that I'm really, really considering because it's been so long. I don't know if you want to guess.
Say it again.
There's one game I'm considering streaming, and that I've said I would stream but never have and now I feel like it's been so long. I should.
Blue Dragon.
Blue Dragon.
I mean, if you don't want to play it, I really don't give a fuck no more. But I did waste like 50,000 points, man.
But you'll be fine. The economy is fine.
Refund.
No, actually it's not Blue Dragon. It's Final Fantasy Lightning Returns.
Oh, fucking Blue Dragon, you piece of shit.
Time for Final Fantasy 13 Lightning Returns.
I hope you guys are excited for something that I said I would play a long time ago. Oh, he's finally talking about Blue Dragon, the game that I put all those points into.
Nah.
Okay, cool. Final Fantasy Lightning Returns. God damn it!
You want the shitty third game? Let's go, baby. On PC.
Have you not played the third game?
No, I've only played 13 and 13 too.
Oh, okay, yeah, I'm down for watching 3. That's
okay.
Cool.
All right. So, or Evil West. Not Final Fantasy. All right.
Oh, dude. You talked about Evil West, and I was like, oh, that sounds dumb. And then I saw the video for Evil West, and I was like, oh my god, it looks so dumb but fun.
Yeah. So yeah,
that game looks silly, dude.
Yeah, I'll probably come up with a schedule on like what to play next. Maybe it might be 2 things at once. You know. Yeah, that's gonna be the plans for this new year that we're in, the future. Anything you're planning on playing besides Danganronpa or just Danganronpa?
Like this week?
Or anything, I guess.
I mean, in June I'll be playing Diablo.
Fuck. Oh.
That's the other game I want to get. The remake of shooty space horror movie game.
Oh, Dead Space?
Yeah, I'm gonna buy Dead Space remake.
When is it coming out? Is it this month?
First, yeah, this month. Not the first of this month, but this month, like the 15th or something.
Oh fuck! I forgot that comes out this month.
Yeah,
dude, 2023 is looking crazy because you know when you said, "Oh, I'm gonna be playing Diablo in June," bro, I'm gonna be playing fucking Resident Evil remake in March.
4th?
Yeah, Resident Evil 4 remake.
Yeah.
I
think I'll probably pick that up too if I can.
That's the game I'm gonna be fucking playing. I'm putting all my time into, and then yeah, Diablo in June. Because
Dead Space is definitely getting my money though over RE4.
It's sad too because like I got really excited for Callisto Protocol, and that game has
I didn't get excited because I knew this happens all the time. People that make like their fucking love child game, and then they go and like make another one, but they're not. It's just, literally the Diablo team has been doing this for years. Torchlight.
Oh yeah.
What's it called? Part of the Diablo team's on Path of Exile.
Oh. Yeah.
They're on like all these games. Another like one of the like real like old heads of Diablo, like high up dude who like worked on the first one, made a game, and like just never fucking feels like it, man. So, you know, really what they should do is when they leave something like that and it's like such a like impactful thing is like figure out a new style instead of dungeon crawler. Just do something different, make something new, or with the Callisto Protocol, it's a shooter. So like just do a different thing. He's trying too hard to make it what he had before, and it's like
Yeah.
it doesn't have to be the same thing. Just do something new that's scary. People will love you for it.
I think that's the problem, is that the Callisto Protocol was planned. Well, it was planned to be a fucking PUBG universe thing, but then it just went into its own direction. I think because of the fact that Dead Space remake was announced, so they decided, okay, let's make a horror game that a lot of Dead Space heads can look forward to or like put their money into. But then that became the problem, was that they tried to basically, what's the word I'm looking for? They tried to recreate the magic that they did with Dead Space again in a world where Dead Space already exists. So it's like you can't fucking you can't have a double rainbow the second time. They just couldn't do it. And then on top of that, the big problem with the PC version of Callisto Protocol, where a lot of people were like, it's unplayable on like fucking super rigs and shit like that, where I was just having performance issues. And its story, I even heard that like the story ends in a cliffhanger, and it's not a good cliffhanger either. So they're planning on making a sequel, but like the combat is also kind of like iffy, depending whether or not you might like it or not, because like what I've seen is essentially it has punch out mechanics, because you're dodging and ducking and weaving. It's very bizarre. It's very weird. I'll probably pick up Callisto Protocol when it's like $25, but not right now. And when it's patched properly. But
I'll pick up
Callisto Protocol?
Callisto Protocol when they give it to me for free on PlayStation Plus.
Callisto Protocol, ooh. Yeah. Yeah, man. But I think overall, I think that Dead Space remake is like looking more appealing because of the fact that it's like it's something that I'm comfortable with. And this is the problem. God damn it. This is the problem. I'm saying again. I'm part of the problem of fucking creatively bankrupt things, where it's like this is a remake of a thing that I already know about, but it just looks pretty and I want to play it again.
See, but that's the thing, is like a remake's fine. A remake is completely fine to play the game again, but when you have this, like you said, like it's where like Call of Duty makes the same game every year.
Yeah.
That is creatively bankrupt. Sending out a remake now, again, like The Last of Us having like 4 different enhanced versions and then a remake of the first one is like, why are you doing this? Again, that's to me is more creatively bankrupt. But
yeah, that was so bad.
Them remaking
I'll be
every
buying a
single
PC.
Resident Evil to like keep up with like the times and showing a new generation it, because a lot of like kids aren't going to want to play the old ones, but now that they see the new graphical ones, they'll probably want to play it. It's just trying to keep, and of course like it's for money as well, right?
Yeah, that too. I mean, but that's also the other thing, is that like Resident Evil remake, specifically 2, was so different that it's just like, yeah, like it works as a remake because it plays so differently from the first one. Yeah. But it's also the problem of this is a whole different topic of like ensuring the ability to play these old games exists, because of the fact that like, Resident Evil, getting a physical version of Resident Evil 1 on PlayStation is hard. Emulation is so perfect for this because of the fact that like you could just find a ROM of it, play it, say you played the first game, and you're good. But I think at this point, there is that remake of Resident Evil 1 where it's just like, even Resident Evil people are like, just play that remake, and that's it. And then you can play 2, you can play, depending whether or not you want to play 3, but I recommend playing those old games. That's just me. That's me personally. It's just like, I would like to see where it started, if I have the opportunity to actually check it out, how it started, and to see what the new iteration is and what it looks like. Because like Resident Evil 4 is a perfect example of that. like I'm so excited for this game that is remade, but that trailer makes the game look so different because of the whole fucking combat mechanics and like the possible changes that it might do with its story. Like Resident Evil 4 remake looks so fucking good. I'm part of the problem.
It's okay.
I'm part of the problem. Anyways, Diablo 4.
Dude, stoked.
Yeah, 2023 is looking like an interesting year for games. You know, like you said, Diablo 4, Resident Evil remake for me, Dead Space remake, fucking Final Fantasy 16, Street Fighter 6, I was about to say Forspoken, but I'm not really excited for that game, to be honest.
No, you know they're kind of remaking it. They're like readjusting it. So the
Really?
feedback they got was that it's terrible. So the first time they
Where
let people play it,
where did
people
you
said
see
it's
this?
bad. My brother was reading an article when he was here, and
Oh,
he was just
really?
like, they're redoing it, um, or at least like fixing some things up.
Hmm.
Um, they literally said the same thing the first time they let people play it. People were like, this shit's boring, and then you heard nothing about the game for a long time, and then they hyped it back up, and then it was like Game Award shit. Like it's the demo, and then people played it, and they were like, "This shit's still boring,
Oh,
man. Feels like a
okay.
free runner."
Yes, okay, so I remember this. Yeah, your brother is right because that's why that game got delayed because uh uh there was closed testing for Forspoken, and that's the thing that happened where a lot of people were like it just doesn't feel good. So that's why it got delayed because originally it was supposed to come out in fucking October or September of last year.
Mm.
And it got delayed, and then I don't know about now, but for me playing that demo was just like the world is cool, but the gameplay itself is just like not really that interesting. And then I don't know whether or not they're going to be readjusting things. I hope they do, but like I said, after playing that demo, it's just like I'm not really feeling it. I don't know, and especially for like the fucking $70, it's like it's not really doing it for me. So I don't know. Depends who you ask. Um, but yeah, that's also another thing is that like my back catalog is so big because there's also games I missed out in 2022 that I still got to play. You know, Horizon Forbidden West is a game that I still haven't played yet. Um, and fucking Ghostwire Tokyo. Everybody forgets about Ghostwire Tokyo.
It
Oh,
looks so cool, and then they fucking made a terrible game.
yeah, they made a very mid game, but I bought it because it was like super cheap on GameFly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, I get like if it's cheap, that's fine, but absolutely not would I give those people my fucking money.
Yeah, it's sad because like the whole thing with Ikumi Nakamura is just like, yeah, unfortunately. But yeah, like I said, there's still stuff in my back catalog, shit that I bought, and hopefully, you know, I'm gonna be streaming a little bit more video games.
Hell yeah,
But
dude.
it's yeah, we should play Back for Blood, the biggest thing in my back catalog. Uh, I'll leave it at that.
I'm so sad. I want to play it. I just don't want to play.
I want to play it, but I don't want to play it.
Oh shit! Right.
Yeah. All right. So, all right. That's it for this episode of the Dirty Controller Boys podcast.
Oh my god! I didn't know we were still on the podcast.
Yeah, we were still on the podcast, but we'll be back 5 weeks later. So, or when Haler has an operating computer. Well, technically you have your laptop, but still.
In literally a day and a half, it's gonna be working.
We'll see you in 3 months. Bye.